accent. It's been a while.
It's been a week.
It's been a whole week.
Whole week.
It's been forever.
Like zero in game time.
Forever.
It's my first time I'm speaking in level 13. It's very strange.
It'd be good to practice voice middle.
Don't worry. We'll adjust to these new experiences as we go, I'm sure. It may all be overwhelming and frightening right now. But soon, 16 episodes from now when you're still level 13,
That's not what I was promised.
you will be well-adjusted level 13 adults. Ready to 13 all over the place.
I accidentally wrote level 12 on my character sheet.
You're dumb.
Anyway, as we had left off previously, our last episode,
Do you need this?
we've been in Kovler, a dwarven city beneath the Five Kings Mountains for, well, a few of their forge days now, which is, I think, a little over a week in our time. It's probably nearing 2 weeks, actually, by now.
We've been there for a while.
It's been a minute. And there's a lot going on down here. There is a lot that we have uncovered. There's a lot we've investigated and a lot that we've found. We had been tracking a cult of Droskar, a dwarven god of forgeries and stolen valor, Torag's forgotten son, as they call him, who may or may not be related to the Scarlet Triad we've been pursuing for so long. At this point, so what we've discovered recently, we're all but positive that these two entities are one and the same thing. And finding ourselves arrested for a whole lot of stuff, actually.
I was not arrested, and neither was Raz.
Most of the party was shuffled away into a repurposed warehouse that had been turned into a holding cell, a prison for political prisoners, being held at the command of one of the members of Kovler's Council of Regents. And last week, we had defeated the standing guard they left to oversee the prison, which was a battle. A battle that was very much not unnoticed.
Some chonky
as
boys.
it kind of spilled out in the streets a little bit.
All the chunks.
We know that our actions here have been witnessed, and we know we are not far from the Guild of Arms. There are some guards who are certainly being roused to approach this building as we speak. We don't know how long it'll be till they arrive or what it is they'll be after. But we're not entirely alone. One of the missing people that we had been told of by the Regents Council when they were asking us for their assistance, the whole council itself, was Jenny Hemlock, who turned out not to be one of the 3 carpenters in the Carpenters Guild. Because the Carpenters Guild just cannot catch a break. It's actually a spy in the employ of the Guild of Arms, who had been held in the same prison for some time. So, welcome back to the Two Perception Show, everybody. Thank you, Paizo, for sponsoring us.
Thank
Let
you.
us go on adventures on your channel. Sirenscape, your beautiful music and sound sets, and others in the near future, probably.
Yeah.
But as we return here in this prison, that's battle had just ended. You had slain 4 of these dwarven guards, bearing the Guild of Arms seals and their traditional armaments. One caught a synesthesia and decided to just leave forever and that this life wasn't for him anymore.
He's the smartest NPC I've ever met.
He pieced. Said, nah, out of here. And, do we have... And the audio's still cutting. I tried so many things. I don't know if there's anything else I can do immediately.
What's
because I've tried, like...
Hire a professional audio guy to come in and fix everything.
We have done about 1 million things. So it's possible, if we didn't do this procedural style, that one of them has... If it is curiosity before we go into this chat, is it worse than it was before, or is it the same? Because I know we've had some issues with cutting this entire time since we got the new studio here. I know that's not entirely news. There's been a little bit of that, which we're trying to address. If it's like, it's less, well, hey, that's good. If there's still some of it, I mean, improvement, but it means I have not found the root cause of the issue, so I have another week of glorious audio troubleshooting. But all 5 of you are here in this prison. Most of you are pretty injured, I believe.
I think as I recall, Roshin is like unconscious, actually.
Yeah, you are.
Oh yeah, that's
Oh
right.
yeah,
I was-
you killed him and yourself
At the same time,
with
yes.
That's right. I remember.
with debilitating dichotomy.
Yep.
I mean, you'll
It's a
wake
heck of
up
a
in
spell.
5 seconds.
I mean, I'm
That-
rushing with
that-
potato.
Seems to be the thing that Roshin does.
Yeah, well, thing is to get desperate, yes, but we just happen to be in desperate situations a lot, it seems.
Yep. I'm just gonna go ahead and flip Roshin over and just shove potato. Stabilize. With potato power.
Well, if I'm stabilized, then I am gloriously unconscious yet again, thankfully. Twice.
Straightforward fix.
Turn it off, turn it back on.
Turn it off and back on again. See if that makes it any better. Simplest troubleshooting in the world.
You know, it's hard to
And
go wrong with it.
It usually does it.
So Roshin's stabilized with the Marshall's glorious potato mancy.
I'm also an expert in medicine now.
So she's double stabilized. What are you doing?
Oh, I don't have to roll.
She's stabilized.
No, stabilizing, I mean, I guess technically, but like it's a flat DC of 15, so
Can you fail it?
No.
Can you roll a 1?
Hey, I rolled a 6. That's probably fine.
I'm sure that's, what's your medicine?
Plus 18.
Yeah, it's like, it's physically impossible for, I mean, I guess you could regular fail on a natural one and just wouldn't stabilize her.
Just put the potato up my nose. By mistake.
That's not the potato it's made of.
What about the rest of you? Raz and Trishik, I know you're both quite injured as well.
Yeah, looking about 25% of my normal self. Very bruised and
Your tail's twitching in a corner.
Well, they were beating you with mallets, so fortunately,
Tenderized.
most of his stuff is probably still attached. I don't think this
Be-
is a...
He's very
because
squishy.
Oh, God.
because
Richie.
my frontliners did their job, I am legit untouched. So I'm gonna go on a little bit of a healing bender.
That's fair enough.
Resme, who actually looks a little shaken, will come over to you, and she'll just kind of put her hand on your shoulder, and you'll feel a healing energy just suffuse you, and you'll just glow with light.
that is new effect. What the exactly is this?
It's comforting. It's really comforting. That's what it is.
How about you, Rez? You are conscious, or you were playing dead in the corner, I
was
believe.
playing
That's
dead.
the last we heard of the rat.
That's a lot of 8.
So Raz is gonna stand up, brush himself off, singing to himself in Yusoki, which is a lot of like squeaks,
Takes
whistles.
64 points. No, 74
He's
points of
gonna cast a
damage.
5th level soothe on himself.
Okay.
Give me 74 points of not damage.
Oh,
A lot of general
Sorry.
healing going around.
80.
So as you heal up, I
Because I
think
forgot to roll one.
about all of you are in this entryway here, which the three of you that have been escorted in as prisoners never really got an opportunity to see, as you were blinded when you came through the doors. But there is a single desk against the southern wall with a chair sat behind it. And in addition to the doors still open leading out into the streets and the pair of doors leading back into the holding area they'd fashioned, there are two more doors off to either side that seem to lead into side rooms deeper within the building. The one to the south, to your left as you were coming in the building, would be hanging open, clearly having been thrown open by all of the dwarven guards that poured out when they realized there was a prison break happening. The other one, however, still closed.
Just out of curiosity, is anyone actually going to put
No,
any healing on?
I am. I was just waiting for.
Nah, just taking a,
I'm in the
taking a
middle of
nice
potatoing
nap.
you.
I want him to heal you non-magically first, so that you can actually.
Okay,
get
that's
your
fine. I thought
wounded.
you just did stabilize. That's fine.
Yeah, I mean, well, with my medicine, I
It,
think
it would be nice for you to not be wounded. I can't do that.
it's a 2d8 plus 10, right?
We have to do that. This requires dice. You got to do a medicine check for that one.
Yeah.
Which requires 10 minutes.
Yeah, and this is the 10-minute treatment. So,
Oh, okay.
so if you spend 10 minutes gently potatoing machine
Sounds
back
really
to health.
wrong.
Get up.
like a baby bird.
Well, if we're gonna be spending- if we're going to be spending a full 10 minutes here, then I'll take the time to go back and let the carpenter out of her cell, which is unlocked, and get her stuff back so she can at least
Do something.
leave when we're ready.
So you start treating Rasheen, and you head back to the carpenter, and Miss Hemlock back there is much more alert. There's much more of her wits about her now than she did before. She's standing upright, looking kind of up very much in the front corner of her cell. She's on the far side, so she can't really see around the corner, but certainly she could hear all of the screaming and fighting and murder and saw a rat being chased by a guard run past Scooby-Doo style at least twice. So
I'm just gonna come over, open up her door, and see. I told you, would not be a problem to get you out.
well, from what I heard from the sound of things, it's at least a wee bit of a problem.
Do I look like I'm injured? And currently, I don't look like I'm actually that hurt because I got healed.
I was pretty positive I heard you screaming.
It's a couple times. They do not do too much, though. It's fine.
You have powerful wizards with you, then.
Yes.
There's little they can't accomplish. From
I'm not
my
a wizard.
experience. Well,
Be a cleric for all I know.
admit I'm impressed, but if... And as she comes out and sees the front door and everything is open, and there are literally just corpses kind of strewn out leading out the door of Guild of Arms members just on the ground. Roisin on her back, Marshall trying to cram a potato into her mouth. Miss Hemlock just kind of looking all of this. This damn sure going to be noticed. How much is certain?
Perhaps you'd be willing to be a witness to the fact that we did not, in fact, kill Guild of Arms members.
I'm not
We
so
killed-
worried about that. You got a better weapon. I take one of their mauls, I suppose. I don't know who's going to come. I don't know who we can trust at this point.
Just gonna walk out of the back of the room with a handful of stuff. I believe this belongs to you.
Oh, it does. And she'll take the, she has a sword, actually. It's a very different kind of sword. Almost like a clan dagger that's just been upscaled and elongated. A blade nearly as wide as it is long, looking like a huge sharpened paddle. Nearly a squared thing, with a thick, spiraling handle sticking out from her scabbard.
Just a big cleaver.
Pretty much just a big,
yeah.
double-edged cleaver, more or less, is what she's got. It's almost more of an axe on a short, sword hilt than it is a proper sword of any kind. But it's probably 5-6 inches wide, while only being the length of a short sword, only 2 feet.
I only have one question. Did she get that sword from Salzartan?
Probably not, but anything's possible. He is a master salesman. But she pulls it out of the scabbard, and you can see the shimmer of a couple of runes set into the base of the blade, right above the crossguard itself.
Ooh.
And she takes it in 2 hands, and looking across the group. Aye. Well, if there's any more we have to deal with, we can deal with it. But the Guild of Arms Hall, looking out the door, and she's just peering out the door. If we're where I think we are, it's not terribly far. We should perhaps move now, if you can move your friend.
Let me try to get her up. Vitaeum magicum.
And she's still just potato. It doesn't seem to be working quickly enough.
I'm moving her jaw, trying to get her
Boy,
to.
chew the potato.
Goes up and down.
50.
You know, she
that's
can't
okay.
hear you. She's unconscious, right?
Just yes. Doesn't mean she'll respond.
Take 69 points of health back.
That's my
Nice.
health. God damn it.
I help her up.
And as Roshin's getting up off the ground, you hear the rustling of full plates and underlaid chainmail, heavy boots on the stone roads outside, as what sounds like several more people are approaching the front door.
I immediately throw my hands up.
I don't know if the helicopter comes through on the microphone, but they may
Nice.
have dramatically more support than we thought. The dwarven helicopter.
Cobbler special forces.
Spotlight comes down, a rope ladder drops from up on high. Like, what the hell? Oh, we made a mistake. We underestimated the hell out of these guys.
If you want distraction, I can lead them on chase around city.
No, it's all right. I think we'd best get this out of the way.
Oh, we could
But,
go kill them all. That's another option.
Not if they're the good guys.
A couple of the guards, immediately a pair of them come into view. Face guards slam down their masks. Not much you can really see of their actual features. Mauls in hand, kitted, and with the exact same badge of the Guild of Arms that all the rest of these men in the prison had. The pair of them kind of take up a position outside, maybe 10, 15 feet back from the doorway, not coming in immediately. And one of them, in Dwarven, calls out through the doorway, "Drop your weapons! Come out, hands where we can see them!
I don't have any
Silently!"
weapons.
Drop your weapons. Hands where they can see them. Silently.
Oh, is that right? Is that what they want?
Yeah, that's what they want.
I'm carrying you, so I'm just like, just go out there and get this over with, I suppose.
Oh,
And Jennifer keeps her hands on the sword and looks at the rest. Looks at the rest of you. What are you doing? Keep a hold of him. We don't know if we can trust him. And she
I don't have any weapons anyway.
takes like a gentle step forward. She's probably near the back of your group, realistically, and calls back to the door. I can explain the situation. The guild's been infiltrated. I'm a spy. Orders direct from Commander Bronzebeard. Where is he? And coming around the door frame, also kind of hustling, are another pair of figures. Commander Bronzebeard and the Archmage himself, Archmage Sumer.
Good.
This building was close enough to the walls and enough of a cacophony has been raised that they have come personally to see, well, reports of, a whole crap load of corpses spewing out of a building in the barracks
And we only
district.
A man
shot
running
one in the
down the
street.
street.
Bloody
You did
murder.
shoot a dude in the street who was
I
running
shot a
away
dude in
from the
street,
building.
Thank you.
You did.
We also sent them a message.
You did. But he comes around with a pretty stout little axe. So one-handed, short-hafted, two crescent blades emitting out from it. First time you've actually seen him armed. He has the maul of his office on his hip, but he seems to prefer this if an actual battle is necessary. But unlike the rest of the guards, he's a bit closer. His face guard's up. He's not in a fully defensive position, but he does have the weapon in hand. So he goes around the corner, looks in.
Hello. It's good to be seeing you again.
Hi.
Aye. And looks down at what look like the corpses of a bunch of Guild of Arms members.
I take it this isn't one of your secret prisons.
No, of course not. We got nothing of the kind.
I'm afraid you have traitors among you, sir.
I can personally attest that we were brought here against our will with no information of
He
where
just puts a hand out. Look, not to interrupt your story or nothing, but if there's any group here that's earned at least an ounce of benefit of the doubt, it's the group of you. I don't know what by any of the gods is happening here. What manifestations led to this. But they're not fighting us. And again, they've no reason not to believe in them, no matter what the circumstance may look. And Jennifer kind of steps forward and takes one hand off of her sword and calls out, Commander Bronzebeard, authorization code 75 amethyst 36 bronze amethyst copper. And she nods. You see his grip kind of loosen it a bit. Aye. At ease, Lieutenant Hemlock. And men, lower your weapons. Well then. And he puts this axe back into just a loop on the edge of his belt. Seems like the group of you have a hell of a story to tell me.
Aye.
What? What? By the hammer and tongs. What is this? He's just kind of looking at the building as a whole from outside, and he sort of steps in over the threshold of the doorway. Has to kind of pick his way around the corpses here.
Come along, we'll find out together.
It appears to be the headquarters of the coup that is being held against you as we speak by your most trusted lieutenant.
Sergeant. Most
Sergeant.
trusted sergeant.
He's listening, but he kneels down next to the nearest body inside the door threshold and grabs the shoulder of their full plate and turns him over. Puts a fist onto his chest and bows his head. These are my men, that's for sure. Lieutenant Hemlock, how did you get here? I haven't heard anything from you in must be 15 forage days now. And she nods. Of course, Commander Bronzebeard. I was investigating a rogue cell I'd found, which, of course, I can't confirm or deny is entirely neutralized here, but this is at least some of it. Members of the Guild in Arms that were acting against the interests of not just our guild, but I believe the city of Kovlar. I tracked them here, but didn't expect them to be as well staffed or prepared as they were. I was rushed and ill-prepared and allowed myself to be captured. But this... I'll perhaps need some time to develop a full report, and if I have permission, time to explore this building, investigate what I can. I believe that it seems you're already familiar with these fine men and women. They speak the truth. At the very least, Sergeant Stonehill leads this rogue cell. He's no longer loyal to you, nor to the guild. I believe he received his orders from the Mountainheart out of him. What purpose or cause he has, unfortunately, I'm not fully aware. And she looks like she's physically shaking a little, just standing there amidst the charnel house here in the front room of this warehouse, with just dwarven corpses and a lot of all of your blood also from a very prolonged, vicious battle that had taken
First time,
place.
dear.
A trail leading back
Well-
and a trail leading back.
Actually, if they're using blunt weapons, there wouldn't be a whole lot of blood from us.
Yeah, there would be.
There would,
Compared to them.
I mean, no, it's not gonna cut your limbs off. You're not gonna get volleyed, but like, I'm pretty sure a two-handed maul that's hitting you for 70 damage is going to produce.
It'll rip the skin. And it'll break bones, but most of the damage is going to be internal.
You'll probably cough up a fair
All my
share,
bleeding's
too.
internal. That's where the blood's supposed to be.
She's poking at his ribs.
Honestly,
that was broken.
Resme doesn't look much better or less shaken than she does. Resme
You
actually
also
looks white.
disintegrated a dude's spine, so like, yeah.
Well,
there's...
it's more like this is the first time she's actually killed what she considers to be like normal, not crazy cult people or monsters or random like literal.
You've killed a bunch of triad dudes.
Yeah, but they were trying to kill her, and they were slavers. Let's face it, they earned it.
These guys are trying to kill you.
Yeah, but these guys are guards, and they kind of believed that we were the enemy.
They were
So
guarding an illegal
If the
prison.
slavers had, if the slavers had guards, we'd feel bad. But the slavers were just slavers. you
One of
see.
them chased
The slavers literally had guards. They had the mercenary crew on the ship.
and we didn't kill
That's
them.
true. You actually didn't kill any of them. They did surrender immediately.
One
Yeah.
of them chased me when I tried to run away.
Well, you were being annoying.
What a cad.
I cast one spell.
Apparently, it was really annoying.
Toot.
But as Bronzebeard's looking around, he stands back up again. All right, well, first thing to do is certainly going to be to secure this building. As far as I was aware, this was abandoned. This warehouse hadn't been used for anything. I suppose that's why they chose it.
Oh, it's been repurposed to be this.
That much I can see. He just kind of gestures towards the passage leading back to the cells and that extra second door in the iron barred frame.
Also been made to look abandoned.
He kind of pointed at that. Well, this looks like it's been installed recently. This metal gating hasn't been here for long. It certainly wasn't an original part of the building. You can see it's just been attached to the floor at a surface level. It's not attached to the foundations or anything at all, like you'd traditionally want for something aiming for this amount of structural stability. By Torag's cells back there?
Yes.
Well,
It was not as big of a deal as it might seem. Unfortunately, they used a pretty normal lock, and they did not search me thoroughly.
whatever happened to you here, at least on the surface, is done to you by the Guild of Arms. It may not have been at my order, but it was my men. And you have, for what little it's worth, my apologies that I allowed this to happen on my own watch.
You're forgiven, of course, but sir, I do feel the need to point out the fact that there could be a coup going on right now. They led us to believe that it was fairly imminent, and I would prefer not to have any more of your men die today.
Of course. Lieutenant Hemlock, this is your investigation. I imagine you have the most information about what's going on here. What do you recommend? And she nods kind of takes a moment to compose herself. Commander, I advise that Mountainheart Orvim be contained to his home, placed under house arrest, observation by members of the Guild of Arms that you can trust, that you know you can trust. You can stake your life on. I'd volunteer to lead him if necessary. As you said, I know the most of this investigation. I've been pursuing it for some time. I can't allow him to contact any more agents he might have, pulling strings, or have any organization. I'd also request some agents from the Guild of Spells to surveil his house as well. Consider he doesn't have any magical way of contacting anyone he may be working with or pulling anything else together. Organizing any kind of resistance, staging any sort of a coup from within his own home. And the commander nods. And I'd agree. I'll have it done immediately. And Lieutenant, you're more than welcome to take the lead of this if you need. You've been investigating. I think, again, you have the best eye on this. But choose some of your fellow guildsmen that you feel you can trust. I'll write you a commission, sign it, seal it. You take it to the Mountainheart's house. Archmage, your witness. And he just kind of adds, of course. You'll head with the lieutenant then to the Mountainheart's house. Make sure he doesn't leave. Bring a Fury Magi and make sure he's not able to contact anybody. Okay, I trust you. And he just sort of nods. And the Archmage, just seems almost curious about this entire situation. Like, he's approaching it just the same way he did you telling him there was something wrong with the wall. A hand on his beard, looking over it, brow furrowed a bit. Clearly thinking, analyzing, looking over as much as he can. Of course, Commander. Our guilds have their differences, but both have the good of Kovlar in our hearts. Something it seems that the Mountainheart may have lost sight of. Very well, then. And he steps back for a moment, and with a brief casting of a spell that you would immediately recognize, either of you would immediately recognize from the incantation as Dimension Door, disappears, presumably to meet at the Mountainheart's estate. Lieutenant comes out.
She'll cast Allegro and Fleet Step Lieutenant so she can get wherever she wants to go extremely fast.
Stumbles a little bit with a surprise burst of speed. Up to Commander Bronzebeard. Does the same salute, bows her head briefly, and immediately she turns to move right towards the Guild of Arms to collect some men. The commander reaches out and puts a hand on her shoulder. Lieutenant, I thank you for this.
I know it was hard pretending to be a carpenter, but you did a good job.
The city of Kovlar thanks you as well. Tora, guide your step. And the fires light your way. And she nods. Aye, Commander. And before motioning, one of the guards is there to join her. Heads off towards the guild hall. So Commander kind of looking around. All right, then. I take it from the situation and the state of several of you. You haven't had much opportunity to glean anything from this location.
Actually, that's not true.
What did you find?
So, we managed to speak to the priest, and we had a little, he allowed me to use telepathy on him, so I was able to encourage his memories and see what he saw. There was this creature, I think, Raz, what did you call it?
I've completely forgotten.
I think it was something like Parasite.
Parasite? Heresy?
Parasite, is
It was
called?
undead. It was an undead thing. Really gross to look at. Very terrifying.
And
Within the walls of Kovlar.
apparently the Droskar are here as well.
It's connected to the magma pipes. The thing that runs through the forges.
Yes, it's in an area where one of the big pipes goes. There can't be that many of those, right?
Well, they mostly channel out into the Earthfire district to power a bunch of the various forges. But
That's where they're holding the prisoners.
once the whole of Sagarok had a network all interconnected. But those channels beneath Kovlar, they're in use. They're hot. Nothing could pass through them, could they?
We also found Mr. Trishik found markings on some of your buildings leading throughout the districts too. And I just sketch out the marking really fast. This.
Aye. That's the Forgotten Sun symbol, to be certain.
It looks like what is it? Don't criminal enterprises and cities use those to mark secret locations and pathways? They're low and hidden.
Essentially, they have mapped out your god's routing, and anytime they need to get somewhere unnoticed, they follow the symbols.
So it appears, when the council was last called, seemed to have been through then, aye?
Yes.
Slavers are working inside of your walls, and apparently there are undead nearby too. We do not know exactly where though.
And I'll be the first to admit I don't understand much of how magic or any of that nonsense works. That's the Archmages. I assume he's gone.
Yeah, he's gone.
He's gone.
like-
He used
Feels like
his,
he's like probing around him. Like
he's not here. He used
blind.
his spell to leave.
Has he done that to you before? Has he? He's kind of disappeared, and he's been in there the whole time.
Wouldn't be the first time.
Oh, that's annoying. That's not very
What?
polite.
It is fun though.
The Wall of the Ancients in the north of this city. It's not just a wall of stone. You know, it's a wall of magic.
Of course.
Undead shouldn't be able to exist within the bounds of Kovler.
But if you say that this network is much older than the bounds of Kovler, it's possible that they're using part of the network that you don't think is in use anymore, and so you don't patrol it.
Well, the wall predates Kovler as well. All the walls once stood full around Sagarok. And it wasn't until the Orc armies took them down that their magic failed. If they'd breached Kovler, our fate would have been the same.
But it's possible they could have weakened a small part of it.
Perhaps.
They did steal the anti-magic rune.
They did.
Before whatever was... Oh, whatever this is. That was what the Archmage and I were attending to today. A thorough inspection of the walls, ensuring that the enchantments were in order. We had made some progress, but there was still much to be explored. Let us briefly see if there's anything to be learned here. And he motions for a couple of guards that have... one that had come with the original pair, and two other guards now that had massed outside, to come inside with him. And just motions them to go through these different doors at either side of this and just start looking through the area.
Commander,
Of course, I trust you as much as my own men. You're free to look around as well. Help us find anything if you can.
could I ask for your forgiveness, please?
I can't imagine what for. If you're forgiven for... He kind of gestures to the ground.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry I hurt them.
Judging
I'm
from
so
this...
sorry.
Look, I can see the state of you. There's nothing short of self-defense. And I'm just looking at Mr. Sheen here. You seem to have taken a fair bit of the brunt of it.
Several times over, I think.
But we...
I can't imagine if you hadn't fought them, you would have had a much different fate. You did what you had to do.
I have 3 broken ribs. That one right there chased me up and down the hall, back and forth.
How are you still standing?
I played dead.
I mean, you're not the only one.
He has 5.
So, as the guards start to
There.
branch out, one
It gets easier, I promise.
I don't want it to get easier.
stays with the commander, and the other pair head back first through this main pathway, where the fighting had clearly happened, back to where the cells are. Neither of them immediately branch off to either of these doors, but Commander Bronzebit and the other guard at least go towards the open one to briefly check through and make sure there aren't more dwarves back there, more either Guild of Arms agents or prisoners or anything. But the group of you are able finally to look about the prison a bit as you will, see if there's anything to find, anything useful, any information perhaps that may have been kept here. What do you do?
I'm going to actually start by inspecting the persons of the slain guards and see if I can find anything.
So looking over the 4 guards themselves that were found, each of them is kitted up in fairly powerful arms and armor. Like all members of the Guild of Arms here within Kovler, they're not just wielding short swords some guy made in his backyard. This isn't a Cypress Point situation where people are fighting with hoes and picks against a pirate invasion. This is a well-staffed and well-funded
I should probably also specify Marshall's version of searching the corpse is literally just picking it up and shaking it.
Like a school.
I take
bully?
it Markov didn't make these weapons.
Markov certainly did not make these weapons. Their weapons, their armor, are all finely crafted and clearly reinforced with at least some runic magic. In addition, each of the guards on site here carries a set of keys, one of which, larger than the rest, would fit into the lock of the front door of the prison itself, whereas several other smaller ones would be to the suite of cells inside as well as the back door. And there is one additional key which ostensibly will probably go to one of the two doors on the side. But other than that, while they are in here, they didn't seem to have much on them.
No papers, no notes or anything.
Not on their actual persons, no.
So,
That said, there is a desk, and then there are these two rooms off to the side, but they're not carrying a lot of documentation on
I'll
them.
cast Detect Magic and I'll look for any runes or symbols which might suggest there's something more than the surface on any of the walls or doors.
The building itself appears to be entirely mundane. You don't detect anything out of the ordinary other than, of course, the abundance of abjuration signatures coming from the armor and weapons of the slain guildsmen. Inside the entryway, as well as the desk and the side rooms, you would find no actual magic.
Raz is snaps his fingers. This might not work. He's gonna look for a place on the ground that is clean with no blood. Pull out about a 4x4 piece of paper, lay it on the ground, flatten it out, hand a charcoal stick to Mataz, grab a charcoal stick himself, sit in the middle. He's gonna cast Retrocognition. I'm gonna go ahead and pop this bad boy right now.
Okie dokie.
So he's focusing his inner thoughts, and he's just auto writing on the piece of paper with Mataz also auto writing just everything that comes into mind. Recalling past events from the past 10 days, impressions.
Sherlock Holmes is the case.
Yeah.
More or
Trying
less.
to get some impressions. It's not vision, it's just impressions.
So,
Or cryptic clues.
as you sit down and you start to channel this magic, this paper spread out all around you, you start to link with this site itself, touching some of these echoes, these emotional impressions that have been left behind by things that have happened here. And at first, there's an immediate, overwhelming flash of pain, rage, and fear. I need you to make a will save. You did cast Retrocognition in a room where you just murdered 4 people, which
That's my trauma. That's shared trauma.
it's everyone.
That's a 18
18
on the die.
A total of a 40.
Yeah. So with a 40, this is a pain you have already very recently experienced. So
Get past this.
it is, you can push yourself through it fairly well, but you feel the fear, you feel the despair, you feel the pain of the guardsmen. You almost experience a spectrum of impressions, of emotions from the other side of this fight. You feel the overwhelming confusion of the guy who just decided to go home. You feel just almost blind panic from a dwarf, fear of some omnipresent god or magic or doom of some kind. But linking throughout all of this, you feel a fear. Not a fear of death, not a fear of you, but something deeper, something more of almost a basic instinct, like a fear for their people. These guardsmen fought. They fought you, terrified that if they failed, Kovler would fall. They felt that. But going further back, you get hints. It deadens massively. But hints, almost a little distant, of a tiny light in the distance, dim, dark, a flame nearly extinguished. And as you think back in time, it grows a little bit in strength, bigger and brighter until you can feel yourself some days in the past where this light is defiant. This light is a beacon of honor, dedication, and a similar bit of fear, that same fear for Kavlar, before whisking out of the building entirely to be replaced with a near empty nothingness, just a dull weight of time just passing. At that, your magic comes to an end, because you can only go back 10 days, right?
Yeah.
What you got right now, it reaches back no further. You got what impressions into sight that you can. The only things you're really taking away is this strange linked feeling of a connection to a city and its people, and every emotion here tied to her defense.
Raz is just gonna like space out while he just thinks very hard.
What about you three?
I'm going to look around for more of those symbols, see if this is a marked building.
So you inspect around the outside, seeing if there's anything flagged here. But while it's a much larger building than a lot throughout the Earthfire District, or throughout the city, really, it was a large warehouse once. You don't find anything similar to that emblem, anything similar to that symbol of Droskar, to label this building as part of that same network, that system, or that path that you found in the Earthfire District.
I'm going to throw some more healing on Roshin.
So Roshin is actually, that last spell she cast put her to her major curse mode, so she's feeling a bit restless and violent. So she's just kind of restlessly pace for a bit until her curse calms back down. So she's going to refocus. And once she does that, then she can actually cast spells and have it be meaningful instead of like risking losing them all the time.
You try to refocus while Resme. Trishik's outside checking the building. You're checking these bodies. And while you find nothing on these bodies, Marshall, the desk that's just inside the door here, where some papers that were on its surface have kind of been thrown asunder by the quick defense and the fact that I'm pretty sure somebody you tried to throw somebody over that table at some point in the fight. So the papers are sort of around, but it's easy to collect them and look through. A lot of it is simply logistical.
Okay.
Organization of payments and food and water and supplies that need to be moved around to, well,
Nothing really
have this
relevant.
function.
Yeah.
But it's not all logistical. There definitely are some direct orders, many from Sergeant Stonehill, standing protocol that these guards within this building were to follow. It includes some interesting notes. Paraphrasing some highlights of this, none of the guardsmen here were on any other business with the Guild of Arms right now.
I'm going to take those papers, fold them up, and stash them in my beard for later.
Okay, do you realize they're important and take them, or do you keep reading them and then put them away?
Marshall doesn't need to keep reading. He just stuffs
Fair
them in
enough.
his beard.
Like, this looks important. Beard.
Beard. That's his real bag of holding, is his beard.
You stick the thing in your beard here.
It's kind of like how you have cheek pouches. You can hide things in your beard.
Pretty much.
I want you.
Raz, are you okay?
Oh, yeah, huh, yeah. I'm fine. I'm perfectly fine. Can you go over there, Miss Roshin? I need to talk to you for a second.
You being in the
What is
distance.
it?
That's shoo Resme away. I don't need her in the room when I tell you this.
But,
Why?
It'll hurt your delicate sensibilities.
I'm not a kid.
These men were fighting for Kavlar. They believed wholly in their hearts that they were doing the right thing. They were innocent, driven by fear, believing if they failed that Kavlar would fall.
Oh yes, that's typically how most revolutionary fighters go.
That said, if they're working with the Triad, they have something on them or they've been lied to.
Most likely that prior one. That latter one, I should say.
And
The sergeant apparently
was-
felt the same way.
something else. A stronger will that came in, but I don't know who it was. That said, can you say a right for them,
Certainly.
please?
Resme will bow her head with you.
I feel like it's the most appropriate thing to do. Kind of look over at the commander.
Bronzebeard,
What do you call
is they're mostly just kind of stationed at the door. He sort of bows his head for a moment as well.
Milani, your blessing upon these souls. They fought for what they believed was right in their hearts. And though they fell and died trying, as many of your children do, it's worth a righteous end. Take care of them. And it's just that brief.
Amen.
I expect nothing more from Roshi.
Have no fears. I'll be certain that the Guild of Faith will see to their proper funeral organizations. All that needs to be done for them and their families. Whether they believe they were doing right by the city or not. No man in death is above any other.
It's
Well-
not entirely true.
Will you accept Weregild on behalf of their families?
The what?
It's a custom where if somebody is responsible for the death of somebody, they have to give something to their family, not to make up for the death, but to help support them.
What?
Financial compensation.
I'm glad I'm outside and didn't hear you
Financial
say that.
compensation.
No, it's not about financial compensation. It's about the fact that they just lost somebody who supported them, and I don't want them to go hungry.
But you say it as though it's an actual custom.
It is.
And Bronzebeard puts his hand up again. The Guild has systems for this. Losing men in battle is far from unheard of. Be it bandits on the roads, worms or worse. Severance is organized by the Guild. You need not fear for their families. Be taken care of. I'll treat them as I would any other who lost their lives in service of the Guild itself.
That's good.
So, he just kind of looks at Marshall and looks at your beard.
I
Looks back
found
at
this.
Marshall.
Oh, I pull the papers out of my beard. You might want to take a look at this.
He takes it and starts looking through these various missives and standing orders and protocol sheets and everything here. Well, one thing does seem for certain. I've worked with Sergeant Stonehill for many years. And this does seem to be his hand and his word. But given everything you've told us and the rest of the Council of Regents, it's not impossible it's been forged, no?
Perhaps forged and perhaps a different man who looked very similar to the sergeant. It was the one who locked us in those cells.
I mean, magic's a wonderful thing.
That's his.
Stonehill himself, you claim.
Certainly bore his appearance. My understanding is that the sergeant... Where did you say he was, Resme? He was supposed to be accompanying you, was he not? As you went to mint with the Archmage. Was he with you the whole time? Or even at the time when we were being transported?
He wasn't involved. He was
Well,
back at the guild hall overseeing some inventory of our stores.
the guild hall seem to believe he was with you. It looks like him or someone who looked a lot like him told two different people he was going to be two different places.
And it seems he can't be accounted for.
Then it seems as though... I'm afraid if it is a setup, it's quite a thorough one.
Well, that's
About that time, I'd come back inside, having not found any symbols.
unfortunate. That certainly means I'm unaware of who I can trust then. It seems even my own guildsmen are to be placed under extreme scrutiny.
Well, one thing you can actually think about, given that the way... Never mind, I don't know what's in the papers.
Yeah. They've personnel listings here. It seems like for this very station at least, there was only eight of them that were at the location. I see 4 bodies. Is 4 unaccounted for. We assume 1 Sergeant Stonehill.
One of them ran away.
One of them left. He decided not to fight.
There's at least 2 others that must not have been here at the moment.
Those papers, it looks like they were assigned here for the full time. Are there any other unaccounted for positions or perhaps unstaffed sections that they might have been assigned to as a cover?
They had interim, it looks like. These are patrolmen. Whether the night and the day shifts, a mixture of both. It looks like had a rota going through here. A pair of them were patrolling the city. A pair of them were to other duties, and 4 were here watching over the prison at any given time. Here, you're free to take a look as you wish, but they were keeping up appearances. They dedicated what looks like it may have been all of their free time to watching over this place. That room, it's beds and lodging. They slept here. Anytime they weren't directly working on the employ of the guild, they were watching this prison. They truly believed in whatever it was they were doing.
Yes.
These men, did they have families? People who would miss them? They'd be gone for quite some time.
Most totally do, I imagine they must have told them something as well.
Do you think their families could be at risk?
If that's a concern, it's not one you need to worry yourselves. You've done more than enough with this. The Guild of Arms will handle things. I have to find men I know I can trust, and dispatch them and ensure that if their families are, at first, safe, and second, not further involved.
For certain. I think...
There is a little bit of good news. The symbol that Reyes and myself have found is not located on building. I believe these men have been deceived into thinking we were the bad guys.
They see
This,
nothing in any of this paper that's outside of the ordinary operation of the Guild of Arms. It's all up to protocol. Documentation's all as it would be on official business and missions. I see nothing to indicate any kind of a connection to this cult, to the Forgotten Sun, or any worship of any kind. They're running this like they would any other mundane business for the Guild.
I mean, why wouldn't they? It's a good enough system.
And moreover, I suppose that it indicates that perhaps these men were simply devoted, yes, but rather easily deceived than patrolmen who are fairly of a low station.
Given limited information.
This is all the paper you found. This is everything we found. Just gonna start rifling through it.
And Bronzebeard takes a couple steps over to the other side of the other door, and just reaches down to the handle and jostles it, and it's locked. And he kind of looks over. Hey, did you find any keys on any of them?
Oh yeah. I just pull a set of keys out of my beard.
He flips through a couple and tries one or two before they get in, and he gets the door unlocked and opens it. Oh, it seems to be an office. Might be more of interest in here.
Gonna scurry in.
He's heading inside. It's a fairly large office. It's got a lot of space, actually. It looks to be flippy. Where are you, map? How big is it? About 12 feet square around of actual room space, and another 8 feet in the back, which is just a massive stone countertop, which is set both into the back wall and both side walls, with a single chair, a simple wooden chair that's been brought up in front of it. But spread across this counter, table, desk here is a litany of various maps, schedules, informations, missives, and communications.
Oh boy.
I do believe that's the
wide up.
jackpot.
Yeah. Take out the Eye of the Wise.
Raz is gonna scurry over.
Information.
And as you start peeking through all of this here, this is much less traditional Guild of Arms organization. This is much less 0700 schedules, codes, and direct orders and commands and procedure and protocol. There are communications that have been exchanged. It looks with several other hands, one of which you would all be. It looks like here in this office was safe enough, at least they thought, that this is stuff they definitely would not have expected to be discovered or uncovered, especially not so abruptly before they could do anything about it. Several of the communications here are actually signed by Emberbeard. It is clear that Sergeant Stonehill has been in direct contact with her, and the Mountainheart, organizing a lot of this. It looks like the majority of the
There's the
communication
Scarlet
is with
Triad.
Mountainheart Odovim, but there is a handful from Emberbeard that seem to have kind of circumvented their little organization system to order things specific here. One of which is a request that the 5 agents of the council need to be apprehended immediately. I don't care if you have to frame them. I do not care if you have to make up a crime entirely. But find them, bring them here, and ensure they never see the light of day again.
How convenient that we provided the crime that they could have gone arrest us for.
I mean,
It seems like while Marshall may have spurred a catalyst here, this may have been near inevitable at some point, as all of the guards that worked here were taking time to do their city patrols. It looks like it was almost a matter of time before they would have found some reason to haul you in anyway.
You got a license for that that seafood roll. It's a
Straight to prison!
Straight to prison.
short supply it is.
You've been paying your oxygen tax.
They accuse you of stealing someone's sweet roll.
I saw you touch that chicken! I do not care what you done for the city, you're under arrest! You're lucky you're not slaying you in the streets!
You're just over here petting a chicken. Like, it's so sweet. Why would I not pet
But
the
he's so
chicken?
soft!
Nugget.
I mean, if you think about it in reality, it would be me either beating somebody up or taking a wild chicken and just shoving it in my mouth,
Drunk
thinking
and
it's food.
disorderly.
But aside from Emberbeard's direct direction,
That's not even a charge in Dwarven cities.
That's
It's
why
just
it's funny he got
commonplace.
charged with it.
aside,
Drunk and disorderly.
Aside-
you have
They
to
would
be.
arrest us for resisting arrest.
Oh, sorry. Sober and orderly.
was it disorderly conduct?
That's it.
The blanket, just like, disorderly conduct. Other than Emberbeard's direct order to to Stonehill, and this, a lot of these communications look like they're to Sergeant Stonehill. This appears to be an office he was using to apprehend the five of you and ensure that you are squirreled away in this prison. Most of it's from the Mountainheart. This prison appears to be largely exactly what you expected it to be. A place that he was holding people that knew a little too much or were looking a little bit too far. It's evident that the Mountainheart is working directly with Emberbeard. But what there's not any information on is to the why they are in league together, why he's helping support them. It's clear from the information here that Sergeant Stonehill, at the very least, is aware of the cult of Droskar. Not only is he aware of them, he's aware that Emberbeard leads them. And a lot of what they imagined this prison was going to be for was containing enemies of the cult that needed to be put away.
Huh.
Ooh, that's very incriminating right there.
Pretty bad.
That
This is you are going to jail forever. The
Yeah,
table.
that's
this
treason. That's double treason.
This is the high. It's clear that he was. This is the safe house,
Well, I
like the
think
stuff that no one was ever supposed to find.
That bit's treason.
What
That bit's heresy. That
That's-
bit of theirs
that's
apostasy.
like chess level
word.
treason.
Yeah.
But beyond that, not only are they working with the cult, it seems the Mountainheart has been in contact with them. Like, he has been to their station, a place referred to several times as the Hidden Forge. But unfortunately, its exact location does not seem to be information that Stonehill has.
I know how
But
to get
you
that
know-
information.
The Mountainheart knows where it is.
Oh.
If you take a man's ankles, he tends to tell you what you want to know.
Also, you could just enter his head.
But I like ankles.
I
It's
like
a-
brains.
It's also noteworthy
smash.
that they went through all the effort of establishing this prison and taking everyone here because the Mountainheart, whatever it's after and whatever he thought he was doing, did not want to and would not execute people. No matter how against them they were, no matter how much they stood in his way, he was not willing to just remove people entirely. He's willing to disappear you to super jail for an indeterminate amount of time.
That speaks to an interesting level of loyalty.
But even with the five of you, it seems it was the mountain. It seems Emberbeard just wanted to freaking kill all of you. But the Mountainheart kind of downgraded that to capture.
Well, the man's forsaken his oaths and forsaken his friends and forsaken his government. He has to have some principles left, otherwise he'll just go insane.
Or he just doesn't want to get his hands dirty.
Or
I
he
think the
thinks
high treason gets them pretty dirty.
Bloodied.
Now,
Or-
while you don't have a direct location of the hidden forge or any true information about it, some of the maps and charts about some of the patrols highlight a couple areas of interest within the Earthfire District. Predominantly, one request coming in from the Mountainheart that they contact the Anvilers Guild about an issue with Magma Channel 4.
Ooh.
The
That's
magma
very
network beneath the city is divided into about 9 massive channels that are the network that feeds throughout the Earthfire District and some other select few places. Different sections of this pipeline are labeled numerically for maintenance and ease of identification. So if that specific magma channel, did I say 4? Is that the number I said?
You did say 4.
If Magma Channel 4, I just picked a number.
Good thing I wrote it down right away.
I forgot it immediately. If Magma Channel
every time.
4, I say a different number. If Magma Channel 4 is the one that's feeding this pipeline that you saw in your telepathic connection with Talos, that narrows the search down
Pretty
to a
dramatically.
much smaller section, to about a quarter of the district. Combined with a lot of other information you've uncovered so far, it's not impossible you could find this place on your own. But you also now know, seemingly beyond a shadow of a doubt, that the Mountainheart knows exactly where it is. And I believe a whole bunch of dudes just went to place him under house arrest. So you also know where to find him.
I'm sure that'll go swimmingly. I'm sure everything will go
I
perfectly.
really do think we should go check in on that.
Right. Oh, my head's clearing up a bit.
If we can ensure that job is done correctly, we can leave him there and come back tomorrow.
Yes, I could use a good night's sleep, and perhaps maybe you could brush my hair and maybe we could do makeup tonight. I could use a little distraction.
It's good to get all the grime out of it. Actually, you actually look fine.
That's because you're awesome.
Oh, maybe I'll get the grime out of mine.
She didn't get
Oh,
hit.
goodness. I'm pretty sure most of it is
I just
mine.
kind of look at Bronzebeard and I'm like, so,
Caught a warhammer in the temple.
get some pork and some beer and call it a night for now.
I'm afraid not.
Very sweet.
With what I know now, this isn't something I can simply ignore, obviously. The rest of this forage day and much of the night, I imagine, is going to be vetting my own men. I have to be damn sure that anyone that learns anything about this, and just kind of gestures to the wide open front door, given the state of the situation, there's no use in attempting to contain that knowledge now.
Incidentally, I believe that oh dear, wasn't she the one who told you to go see the weapons master? We should probably tell her what happened, or she's going to be awfully confused.
That makes sense.
Oh, yes, head of the Anvilers Guild. We were in the middle of an investigation for her when we were waylaid.
Well, my guildsmen will collect all this information from this warehouse here. Organize together what we can to present a formal case against the Mountainheart. Obviously, this is a stand in the regent. This is something only the council itself can decide. Which will be somewhat difficult, seeing as there's no way to know if he's the only one involved in all this. That said, other than perhaps Lieutenant Hemlock, the group of you are obviously the ones who know the most about this. If this is in some way related to your Scarlet Triad or that cult you uncovered, I'll have a writ prepared for you, and word sent along to the lieutenant. I have half a mind to believe even if I didn't, she'd let you anyway. But you have my permission to speak with the Mountainheart yourself, if you wish to learn anything further from them.
Spectacular.
I
Good.
have better faith you know the questions to ask than I would.
There won't be any questions. We shall just be getting inside his mind and fighting out what he has to hide.
Well, perhaps the less I know, the better.
That sounds very unpleasant.
I'll organize things here, head back to the guild hall, and I guess prepare a process to ensure that I can trust my own men. But I feel like I said this every other day since you've been here. Not only do I thank you for your service, but the city of Kovler does as well. And
Yes.
truly, I don't believe our city's faced anything like this before. Not even when it was just a district of Sagarok. Not since the orcs invaded, and that was far more direct.
The Triad are nefarious.
If
Cowards?
if you won't think it awkward for me to say so, your city is blessed to have you. You really are a very fine man.
Sounds like a marriage proposal.
Raz looks.
I
at
could
you.
dwell on how I could have prevented this, what more I could have done, how I could have kept better tabs, but nothing will change what's happened. And all I can do is take this knowledge and hope it can be more useful going forward. But I thank you, Miss Risme.
Raz looks the commander in the eye and just vomits blood.
Well,
I'm-
you poor
Doesn't
thing.
even blink, just.
The Mountainheart won't be going anywhere. Not unless he's got far more organized than we imagine. So there's no hurry when you're speaking with him or following this out. Truth be told, I wouldn't blame you one bit if you up and left Kovler and returned back to your homes. You've given us enough information, hopefully, to root out the rest of this ourselves.
We
That
just
is-
want a bath.
That is a very personal vendetta that will be sought through to the very end of the last Scarlet Triad member's life. Do
What
not
he said.
worry.
Just
We
so,
have many reasons to stay.
Oh, trust me, I got a very large list of reasons to take care of them myself.
I got Roshin smell in my mouth. It don't taste pleasant. I'm gonna go home or go back to the inn and bathe. and
That's
wash.
probably wise.
I mean, I'm not in much better shape.
I can't. I don't believe. Last time I was exposed to civilians that had to go through anything similar to what you did. It was a merchant caravan. Ran afoul of a purple worm nest. They were juveniles, the worms, but still. The damn massacre.
Raz, do you need a band-aid?
I don't think that's enough. I need a lot.
For what is worth, do you care about the weapons of these people?
What do you mean?
The magic specifically. I'd like to take some, whatever they have.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Look, if I'm honest with you, we've a lot more in our coffers than our armory than we do to put in our men these days. And
Are you serious?
I mean,
Are
I
you
may or
telling
may-
me you don't want to hit someone as hard as they hit you?
They hit really hard.
Yes, I'm aware how hard they hit.
Yeah.
as this is being
He's
discussed, I'm kind
asking.
of whistling and walking away as I totally don't have one of them stashed on my back.
This is
it's a giant two-handed maul. It's not subtle. Like, it's
She-
very clear.
Barbarian
good
stealth.
behavior that we should be encouraging.
No, it's reasonable. This, I suppose, considered a commission. What payment I can give. I suppose it simplifies us having to embroil in the bureaucracy of the city any more than we need.
Well, I'm all for that.
And I can chalk it up as losses.
Heroes.
Honestly, for the end of our coffers, it works better this way regardless.
Oh, good counting.
I'm so confused, but certainly we'll have need of them before long, so we'll take it. Did you not ask about that?
Better to ask than assume.
So,
See?
Did you get hit in the head when we were fighting there?
No, I have to
Several
be nice to
times.
men
My
we work
logic
with.
is I have to have a trophy for everything I kill.
well, having permission to take at least the weapons and armor of these men here, as, I mean, you're not like defiling the bodies. You already beat them to death. They're pretty well defiled. I mean, like,
They were pre-defiled.
you know, like,
Scrambled some brains.
Take
Also, I
47
don't know if you
hit
saw
points
it.
back.
I don't know if you saw it, but
Russ.
apparently I got a hero point.
oh, did you? I have not actually been looking at
Like
the
half
chat
an
very
hour
much.
ago.
I have been doing stuff, but if you had a hero point, was it like way scrolling up? I'll trust in you.
No, he's right. He did get a hero point.
'Cause
I was
potato,
trying to see if I
potato,
could see
potato.
it to see who it came from.
It's from Jake.
It's
But
from Jake.
oh, Jake the Impaler. All right. Sorry I missed that. I have not been looking at the chat a whole lot. We've been the big RP moment for here. Take this hero point, my good friend. Oh, potato, 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 potato. Thank you. You would be able to acquire quite a few useful things for the list of +1 striking objects that are basically just money, but later. You would get 4 +1 striking war mauls. 4 set, they're actually not full plate. Dwarven breastplates to the untrained eye are almost indistinguishable from traditional human full plate. They're very heavy and very immobile. More the school of like the cuirass and pauldrons are a single solid piece. Mobility is not a high thing they
You don't
put
have
a
to
lot of
raise your
priority
arms
in.
above this
They
anyway.
literally can't. This is
Yeah.
as high as they can put their hands up while they've got their armor on. But 4 +1 resilient breastplates. At this point, I'm just giving you +1 striking things. I mean, I could wait 30 seconds and make you roll dice, but there's literally because it's their millionth +1 striking weapon.
We've seen this rune
yeah.
before. It's dancing in
To
our
be
heads.
fair, I don't have a resilient rune.
Well, you just got 4 resilient runes for anyone that doesn't have
I'll
one
just
yet.
take one of those and put it on my armor.
Yeah, and then whatever cost it's the transfer you can figure out later. You need downtime data move, and you can do that. But also in the bunk area where you can see there were 6 individual stations of cots with footlockers, and it's centered around a square table in the middle of the room. A couple of barrels of supplies, most of the foodstuffs and drink and water you saw in the back room where they'd kept your equipment. But clearly they had been using this table. There's some sets of cards, a couple of various games of chance, some books. There's a lot of the personal effects of these men that are back here.
We're just debunking them.
Yeah, there's a small pile of silvers and coppers they'd clearly have been gambling with. You can just put like 15 silver down if you wanted to take
Sure.
that. You can kife that as well. But also, they
Evidence.
each would have quivers set on a rack with a set of 4 +1 composite short bows as well.
Just +1, right?
Just +1. Not those ones are striking. You don't put striking on the backup weapon.
I do.
It eats money.
You
man.
can if you can afford it.
That's fair.
This is line guards. There's 100 of them. Like,
Take one of the books.
All right. Well, I
Out of
guess
Smith for idiots.
we'll put all of the paperwork in the bag of holding so we have it for evidence.
well, Commander Bronzebeard is taking the
oh,
paperwork.
okay, that's
but
fine then. As long as somebody's taking
yeah,
it.
no, he's collecting.
gave it to him.
He's collecting all the information, communications and charts and maps that are in here and everything to compile his case against the Mountainheart to bring us to the Regent's Council. But with that, it seems there is not anything else here for you to find within the prison. So,
What's on?
ooh, imagine looking at chat. Imagine looking at chat. A villain point.
I wasn't going to say anything and see how long it took.
Armageddon.
You would have never gotten it.
No.
I like villain points. Thank you, my good friend. I gotta find a place in this new setup to put this so I can see chat easier. I need to like staple it to my GM screen right here.
Just staple it to your forehead.
This
Dude.
back.
I could take
Then you
the
can't
thing.
see it, though.
The thing is actually
Fair.
nice.
Yeah.
The Wii U controller dock, a fantastic phone holder, by the way.
Incredible.
It's perfect. This man has enlightened me. That's so much easier. And I can,
Probably
I can
print something like that.
probably.
Yeah.
I can't imagine
You
it's
can print
hard.
anything nowadays, right?
It's a piece of curvy plastic.
But-
I don't imagine it'd be hard.
The group of you
Semi-soft.
done here with the Mountainheart out of him's prison. Is it? Are we heading back
Yes.
to the
Hotel.
to the Gold Sky Inn?
Vomit blood. Can we go back?
I mean, I'm kind
Are
of
you like
snapping my
trying to
nose
do
back
that, or
into
do you
place, so-
actually?
I've been trying not to cough.
It would be like probably late afternoon as far as your bodies are telling you. It's about the middle of the forge day.
Really, it feels like
This-
it's nighttime to me.
Yeah, this I believe was the day that aligned that you woke up at the start of the actual forge day. This was that aligned day, I think.
This sounds an awful lot like we're going to rest for 8 hours and then sleep for 8 hours.
Oh, I'm probably going to be
Maybe
sleeping
wise.
the entire day.
If the Mountainheart has some way to escape his house arrest, he's almost certainly going to be able to do that regardless.
Yeah. We need
And
a downtime
If
day.
not, like, if he's still going tomorrow, or if he's not, like, you going there now is not going to change that. He's either already made an escape or will still be there tomorrow. If you have any faith in the Guild of Arms abilities, that seems safe enough. And besides, after today, it's probably time to rest.
If more than half of the Armsmen were compromised, they could just take over the city in the open.
That's true. We could
So-
literally just stage an armed revolt.
Yeah,
They could, like,
if they're still playing cat and mouse and shadow
they could do a
games,
military coup if they had that much support. for
Yeah,
sure.
so we're
Easy
probably
to
fine.
say we have more faith in them than we do with the Carpenters Guild.
Why?
Do you need pigeons to
Why
do
you gotta
military
like go
coup?
out of your way to beg on the Carpenters Guild, man? Don't
I have
they
mad
get
respect
enough?
for them?
Hey,
But
those
location.
those
He nailed it.
Kevlar's 2 master carpenters do
And the spy.
good work.
And the spy.
That's why I didn't say 3 master carpenters.
Look, the saying down here is walk softly and carry a big rock.
Because they don't have sticks.
Because
Yes,
they don't
thank you.
need carpenters.
Thank you, Colby. I did put that one together.
I'm glad I could help.
If they had one more, then they'd be 4x4.
Is funny.
Oh my god.
So the group of you make your way back down through pretty much the whole of
They don't
Cobbler.
have sticks.
There's They're a
fairly
splinter organization.
fairly bloodied, and Roshin's armor probably looks like a crumpled soda can.
Yeah, it is like really creased.
You're
in a
just
lot of
probably
weird ways.
carrying your shield like in a hand because
Oh, it fits in my bag of holding now. It's been
that's
folded
fair.
in
It's been folded in half. It fits in easy.
Yeah.
Give me
But
that.
you all walking through the streets of the city, clearly showing the signs of this wear. You get a fair few looks, but again, the dwarven culture is not really the same. You're not drawing a weird audience or anything. But you do kind of notice you get a nice bubble of personal space around you as you make your way back to Gold Sky Inn, because
She looks like she smells now.
you do look like you smell now.
I always look like I smell.
Mostly dead. But you arrive back at the
On
inn
the way back, I got a 6 level kill from Marshall.
Oh, I
with
appreciate
no
it.
incident.
Oh,
And throwing full of heals and whatnot.
I definitely need it.
By the time you get home, using the in-suite bathing services at this fantastic establishment here,
It's en suite.
in-suite,
En suite.
en-suite.
Stop.
Hamburger.
blown the math out of my head.
I see the buffering wheel every.
Are you trying to work with some
7.
money?
70.
70.
I'll
Oh, it was one digit
Money.
off.
I just need to do like 3 more times before you're back to full health. Is that?
take it. I'm at 128
It's in
right now.
At
So,
this,
yeah,
at
2
this
more
point,
times,
at this
yeah.
point, unless there's anything else you were going to do with your day,
Cast a lot
you
of healing
could just use the rest of your heals to bring everyone up, and
I'm also gonna
I'm sure.
repair Roshin's shield.
you are no longer, you have no pressure.
Yeah.
You have plenty of time to just like repeatedly repair the shield.
Cool.
You could spend the rest of your evening, well,
Recuperating.
recovering and recuperating from that experience.
Sounds
before.
good. Yeah.
And
but
what?
not a downtime day.
Oh, not at downtime.
No, because it's just the tail end of
Okay.
this. It's enough to get
Yeah.
yourselves back up to par before you
I'm
rest.
just
How many-
I'm just helping patch up. We're all just patching up each
Yeah.
other, I guess.
How many more? And actually, I'm at full right now, so all my wounded went away.
Oh, okay.
I have plenty of more healing to throw at you.
Yeah,
well,
I'll get 2 more.
now that I'm level 13,
Yeah,
I
you
have
guys
a
have.
total.
I'm sure you have enough
Yeah,
healing
I
that
have
you could
tons
bring
of
the entire
healing
party
to
back.
throw.
I'll just
Yeah.
tick off some spell
Rails?
slots.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just saying I'm at full.
Training with Marshall.
We'll go with that.
2 more 6s and a 5.
Oh yeah, that's
he
right. Yeah,
has-
that's right, Marvel.
2 more.
Yes.
Okay.
2 more days.
Oh,
I'm
Here,
ready, Coach.
it's pretty again.
Beautiful.
You know, this new
Did you
eyepiece.
repaint it?
It's really it's really good. It's really helpful. I don't know why it's helpful, but it
The
is.
sleep sessions.
I want to try something out of raw curiosity just to see if it does anything. It's probably not going to, but just for the sake of science.
Oh god.
Ah.
How do you Gimme. No. Gimme. You have to squeeze a little metal tabs.
Squeeze the metal tab. These all tabs.
Why are you asking Colby to do manual dexterity
Because he's
things?
the closest person to me. Why do I get the gimme? This is mine. This is my microphone. I'm taking it. This is for me now.
Are you gonna pee on it?
Maybe.
I'm
Market
just
is
curious. Because whatever what little audio issues you have seem to be almost entirely
Entirely on
from me.
yours. Mhm.
This at least tests if it is microphone or something else. So we'll
I grew attached to that microphone.
what? Oh well.
His name was Reginald.
Well, Reginald will serve me well now because it's interesting because it like if it's a hardware. I honestly I hope you have the problem now. A, because then I don't have the problem and it's your problem, and B, because that means it's hardware and that's super easy. Just get on the microphone. But that's an easy troubleshoot we can do right now just to see what happens. You resting, I imagine sleeping for the night.
Yep.
Cast.
Yes, God.
Dreaming potential on Mr. Marshall again.
What are we seeing now?
Tonight, actually,
Lots of potatoes.
it's just
Fighting his way through a giant potato.
darkness.
My old friend.
Darkness. Heavy
Hello.
darkness. And then you just wake up.
I think that's just called sleeping.
No dreams. Nothing.
He didn't actually cast anything.
You didn't have a spell, did you? Did you
Is it
actually?
a funny
get
time?
it? Okay.
Is it a funny time to mention, even if
But
it is pure?
You remember a heavy oppressive feeling the entire time.
Okay.
It makes you upset. You are very upset with this feeling because you can't do anything about it.
Wakes up grumpy.
He wakes up grumpy.
Great idea.
You know what's actually funny? I just got the racial feat that called Defy Darkness, where I basically got like super dark vision.
So it's even more frustrating.
So it's even more fun.
You're super adapting down here in the Dwarven City, and
Like-
your senses are really returning. And it's still dark.
Yeah. So I am extra PO'd as I'm waking up.
To be fair, Marshall does wake up every morning and choose violence.
That's probably just accurate, honestly.
That is very accurate. Yeah.
So as you awaken, what will be the next day for you? It would be the middle of the Forge Night. This is going to be the day where about what would be early afternoon for you, the Forge Day will start in our desynchronized cycle of time.
Cool.
Yeah.
I need to change some runes over.
But awaken to the night, you would have a fine day to possibly reorganize some runes, train, do like you know that obviously there is a lot of mess in the city here. But it seems to be as under control as it really can be.
Shadow Wars.
You could, yeah. I mean, there's only so much you can do without knowing where this hidden forge is, which is something you had briefly investigated before, trying to figure it out, but you have a lot more information now. And if some of you wanted to spend your day doing that, it could be worth giving it another attempt. You have things narrowed down a lot more than you did before. Do you, as it sounds like you guys are doing a downtime day.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like we need to be we don't know what's down there, so we should probably be prepared for the
Marshall's
worst.
got to ready himself.
I would like to not die, so I'm definitely
Yeah.
going to be moving over the rune that's on my armor right now to my explorer's clothing because my
Tried armor, wasn't a fan. We're going back to no armor.
well, now I'm an expert in armored defense, so it's actually better for me to not have armor
That is the
on.
interesting thing
Yeah,
with the way the scaling
proficiency
works.
feat, you only get trained, and it does not get better.
Interesting.
There's not like an advanced feat that gives you expert. I honestly
Not that I
haven't looked
saw.
through the proficiency feats very much.
It's very hard to find something that makes something you're not initially trained out of.
Yeah.
More than trained. Well, it's class identity, though. I
Yeah,
suppose that's the
there's-
point.
There's racial feats that like take weapons to your highest trained proficiency in weapon, but that's like 2 feats in.
So you're moving runes from your armor back to your clothing
Back to my
because
clothing.
tried armor. Dalren taught you. It was weird. It's not your thing. We're going back. You, I believe, wanted to take the resilient rune from one of these breastplates and move it over to your armor. You are going to be training.
Yeah.
What are you two doing?
Mr. Sheik,
Sorry, I should be saying you because it doesn't mean anything to the podcast, but I think context at this point, everyone probably knows who all of those yous were.
Mr. Sheik, you know that cloak you have that makes you super sneaky?
Which one?
The one that makes you look like normal person.
Reach into my bag of holding and toss a big gray cloak that's basically a blanket for you.
Thank you. I kind of just take it and pin it shorter. I'm going out in the city with the cloak on.
The unremarkable.
Yeah.
So as you put that on, even though it should drag on the floor behind you, the magic of the cloak pulls itself up to right above your heels, really, still obscuring much of your form. And making your silhouette appear much larger, more filled out. Here in Kovler at a glance, you almost look like a dwarf, more than a rat,
Now,
with a sort of featureless, really impossible to remember face.
A 3-year-old dwarf.
something that we haven't actually talked about is investing magical items. That's not really come up yet. Because
Okay.
we're starting to get to the point that
We
we're
actually
wearing a lot.
might begin at the point where you can invest up to 10, I believe. Is the limit. You can have 10 items invested.
I'm at 6.
And you can only invest 1 staff. There's probably other concerns, but which one is the one that you were curious about?
The total amount, just to let you know, wearing it does invest it, and if you take it off and put it back on, that invests it again.
Okay. I have 3 invested items.
Yeah, I don't think Raz has a ton.
Okay.
Because Raz mostly just uses the toot, and you don't have to invest the toot, you just have the
Okay.
toot on it.
I've got
Like-
5, so I know some of
Yep.
us are starting to get a lot of them.
Yeah, we are
I
getting
think I only got like 2.
up in the higher levels here to where it's not impossible that at some point someone will actually be limited by the investiture cap ever. I still feel like that's relatively unlikely. You would have to have just a ton of crap.
A lot of
To
rings.
you have to have a ton of rings or something to cap
Yeah.
out on investiture.
I mean, crafting and just doing some of that does get you a couple of invested things.
Armor and weapons, are those invested?
Armor weapons are not
Are
invested.
they
No.
not?
No, they're not.
Okay, then I
Staff.
have like 2.
Almost
Wait,
all other
right,
magic
technically
items
it's-
are. Almost all other permanent magic items are invested, but
Okay.
weapons and armor specifically are not.
Yeah, I have 2 then.
I think the tater stick is the only one I have.
Yeah, tater steaks invested.
Yep.
Don't you have the fear thing too? Did you ever get the fear
No,
thing?
it
No, we
was,
just
it was
talked
900
about that.
gold, and I didn't have enough.
All of the gate keys are invested. And
Yeah,
I have
all of the
two-
all the
I
keys
have,
all
I have a
set
bunch of
are
those.
invested.
So
So, Raz is going to go out of town, and are you, my friend, going to try to seek the hidden forge?
Yes.
So to say. How about you, Roshin?
So, let's see here. I would like to first off, I would like to make sure Raz doesn't get kidnapped, but seeing that he has at least a pretty decent disguise, I don't think there's too much of a worry about that.
If he got kidnapped, it'd just be regular kidnapped. It wouldn't be like a targeted kidnapping, and he'd probably be fine. Kidnappers can't handle Raz. Imagine you kidnap Raz and just get sent to station immediately. Like,
regrets.
and that was the day he turned his life around.
Yeah.
Little Jimmy the kidnapper decided that he would get a real job and make his family proud.
Little
That's it.
Jimmy the carpenter.
Little Jimmy.
6.
I'm gonna join the Carpenters Guild.
Why? Not everything has to be turned into begging in the Carpenters Guild.
It's fun.
They try their best
Here's the thing: we only do it while in Kuffler.
because
Yeah,
that's
but
where the
everywhere else-
Carpenters Guild is.
That's the point.
Everywhere else are a legitimate guild.
Yeah, everywhere else is a legitimate guild. Exactly.
So she wants to see. She knows it's late. She knows it's late at night, but maybe the Guild of Faith has night services for people. So I'd like to go check on that. And if that doesn't work, then she doesn't have too much else she can do aside from all the services are closed.
Oh, no,
probably.
Bronzebeard's hat.
No.
Oh no.
I
Oh, wait, no, what
suppose
happened to
we could see about maybe liquidating some assets. We could do that. Maybe there's some places in the foreign quarter that they're actually still open for business because we're
Yeah, there'd
away.
definitely be some things you could sell. You could definitely do shopkeeping
Okay.
because there's enough here.
Ooh, get me my wand, please.
Certainly.
Money.
Forget about Raz's wish list. He gave you a piece of paper with one item on it,
What other room did you
The,
get?
the stuff I'm selling actually pays for what I'm buying.
and I don't have anything.
So
If we ever have enough money, it's
yeah, just write it down for me again.
What's
Do you
your
put on the
weapon
spreadsheet?
proficiency, caster progression, man? Is it expert?
It is expert.
Are you also expert in perception, just out of raw curiosity?
Yes,
should be,
actually,
yeah.
way before I was expert in weapons. Interestingly enough.
Fair enough. Just wondering for no particular reason.
Okay.
Liar.
So, is there anything that
might?
might need legendary perception?
There's probably lots of things that require legendary perception.
Because I'm a rogue and I get that at this level.
Are you actually legendary? Is that the
Yeah.
first legendary we have at the table?
I have a
Distinctly.
plus 28 to perception right now.
Holy
Jeez.
crap.
And I have no wisdom. Or I have a little bit, but
That is pretty much the definition of your character.
yep. Yep. I
All
have
perception,
14
no
wisdom.
wisdom.
Huh.
Easy.
He's very shiny though.
So what other runes did we get at by curiosity? I know there's
You got
resilience
plus
and
ones, you got strikings, and
Plus
you
one
got
strikings and a couple resilience. Like
just plus
basically,
one strikings, right?
yeah, it's basically
Okay,
all the
so
stuff
then-
that we grind up and turn into money.
Okay, yeah,
At this
never mind.
point,
That is actually just like liquid money, more
Does the
or less.
resilience runes do anything for me by chance, or
resilient runes. You
increases
should
your
already have
fortitude.
one.
There's, surely you have a resilient
You
rune
must
in your
have
armor.
one.
There's
do.
no way
Okay,
we
never
haven't
mind.
put a resilient rune in your armor
Yeah.
by now.
never
Do
mind?
you want me to roll for a level
Just curious.
3 resilient rune to transfer it?
I think you can manage.
Yeah, do you want me to roll? I'm a master now, so.
Yeah, and you
both
you both have plus one resilient that you're putting on your.
No, I'm not putting resilient. I'm changing my stealth rune and my plus one rune over from my armor to my explorer's
don't have
clothing.
Do you not
Resilient?
have a resilient rune?
No, I have a resilient one too.
I say you better.
Sorry.
You're
yeah.
also moving the resilient.
Yeah, all 3 of them.
Okay. So
That takes
yeah,
3 days.
those are all relatively low level, so you would just need to pay the transfer cost,
Okay.
the 10% of which we can figure out later. We don't need to figure that out right now. But I can't imagine either of you. I mean, just roll and don't roll a 1. Give me some crafting dice, lads.
Not a 1.
No.
Even if I rolled a 1,
That's a
14.
Not a 1 is what we like to see, and with the power of not a 1, you guys, I'm sure, are fine. Roshin will spend the day traveling around the Traveler's Quarter, trying to offload what is really a truly impressive amount of equipment here. It's a lot of gear, which is going to take her probably about the downtime day to go to all these various places and deal with this. But Raz, my good friend, you know a lot of things now. You could go about this a great number of ways, but with Trishik's unmemorable mantle, as you head out into streets at night with near nothing but the guard patrols going around, some activity in the travelers' quarters, but I imagine you leave that behind relatively quickly, heading for the Earthfire District. What are you doing? What is your thought here?
My thought is we narrowed it down considerably. I'm going to actually keep looking for those symbols and see if I can't discern a pathway between them, see if I can't find more of them around that specific area that we kind of have an idea about.
Okay. I could say that could be perception or survival, really, so I'll leave that your choice. It's kind of both, because you're sort of tracking and you're sort of looking for things. I'll let you choice that one.
We'll do perception for a total of 30.
I was like, there's no
There's
way
no
you
way.
got a
Sorry,
49. Okay.
Like your sheet just
My,
told
ma-
us.
my math is like short wire in my brain. 39.
With a 39. As you look through the area, the big change that you've found here is this magma channel. It wouldn't be hard for you to have looked through some of the stuff that was there, possibly done a little bit of your own research to figure out exactly what section of the city is serviced by magma channel 4 in the Earthfire District. And it's like 2 full blocks of Kovler, really, which is a good deal of buildings and a good deal of places. But you also know you're looking for these symbols. And working your way around throughout the day, which is their night, under the cover of darkness, exploring the area does yield a couple more of these around. But you don't find any of the symbols, this flame inside of a stone archway, in the area serviced by the channel itself. Nothing immediately stands out to you. However, as you continue looking, several of these buildings, again, basements are not uncommon. You can't really build up in a city in a cave, so you sort of have to build down. And a couple of them have outside access, kind of like a wine cellar would. And just looking through later in your search, as the Forge Day itself is just beginning, one of these opening to an alleyway in the northwestern quarter of the district itself is locked by what looks on the surface like a fairly simple iron padlock. But you notice, sharp-eyed rat that you are, it's a lot more intricate than it appears to be. And as you check it over, there's a place for the key set in the bottom. And around the keyhole itself is a small etching of that same stone arch. You're not Trishik, and you're pretty confident that you don't know you can get into this. But this very well might be the hidden forge you're looking for. It's a small, nondescript entry to a cellar. There's nothing grandiose or impressive about it. Looks like just the rest of Kovler. There's no dramatic reveal here. But inside maybe there is.
Neat.
You walk inside. It's just a brothel.
Ah, this is what I thought it was at all.
Dramatic reveal. Yes.
Well, that's dramatic. I'll give him that. But as the group of you reconvene, as the Forge Day has gotten underway for a few hours, your day of preparation and work behind you, Rasheen out in the town, you would start to hear some news. You would hear a bit of talk as you're dealing with some of these merchants. And as the Forge Day gets underway, before you head back to the Gold Sky Inn, you already start to hear some talk in the streets about the Stonemasons Guild and their Mountainheart being arrested within his own home. The Guild of Arms trying to flex its power over the Court of Regents. Some talk about the Mountainheart being a traitor to the city. Some talk about the commander trying to organize a situation where he can impose martial law.
So, this is going to be too good for Roisin to pass up. So she's going to start some fake gossip while she's going around.
I've had such a good influence on you.
You were the chosen one. You're supposed to be above this.
No, not at all, actually, because she knows how revolutions start, and the more stories that are going around, the more people are going to split into fractions, which means there's less likely you're going to have an angry mob with a single purposeful action that can't get quelled. So actually, this is very direct and very purposeful.
It makes sense.
Oh, I liked it better when it was just shenanigans.
Oh, this shenanigans. Well,
Roisin's party mom. She doesn't do shenanigans.
give me a deception. I feel would be the most appropriate die for the roll
Probably
here.
reasonable.
It's about right.
I mean, it's a 9. I don't know.
It's not
It's
terrible.
not terrible. 29.
So that's 29.
So basically, I heard that the Guild of Faith had considered, in different tellings, she says either the Mountainheart or the
Theocracy.
commander a heretic. And that
Apostasy!
and that was
Hypocrisy!
and then also heard that the Guild of Spells may have been involved too, but I couldn't say for sure, and I couldn't tell you where I heard it from. But nudge, nudge, wink, wink, say no more.
Oh my.
Within the city of Kovler, the way the town works, there are some inns and taverns in the Travelers District that are smaller or family run, but the vast majority of Kovler's citizens belong to one of the guilds. They work for one of the guilds. Even most like shops and bars and anything within the city are run by one of the 10 guilds of the city. So you are this weird looking human lady sowing guild gossip to guildsmen, and they don't seem to be terribly receptive.
Okay.
They,
Maybe I make the mistake of trying to gossip about the guild to someone who's in that particular
yeah,
guild.
Walk
doesn't
up to the
go-
guard. Hey, I heard the Guild of Arms was up to some shenanigans.
just Rasheen just gets arrested again. Like, it's a bad look all around, really. But at the end of the day, as you gather back together, your runes replaced.
I did
Marshall,
my +1.
Having been trained, you what?
I did my +1 the first day because it's the most important rune.
She's moving 3
I
reps,
guess you-
so.
You have to move them individually.
That,
Yep.
I mean, I would think.
I'ma give you house. I feel like there's a thing that the fundamentals can just be moved as a thing. But just for purposes of it not taking 3 days of downtime, to
Okay.
just literally move them to a different set of armor.
I like that
You could just
rule.
move them as a set.
Cool.
Like, because they're going from one place to another place. I'll let you get the +1 stealth together at least, and then the resilient from your old armor, and then the resilient from the other
Yeah.
new armor would take another day. But you'll be where you were
Okay.
after one downtime day. And Raz, I imagine, would be sharing with the class what he'd found.
Mr. Sheik. Bit my tongue there. Mr. Trishik.
That's where all that blood came from.
Very razz of you.
I found it.
Is not exactly big surprise. I assume you follow the little patterns and it led you right to it.
Well, no, I kind of wandered around aimlessly until I found one that looked very particularly. Yeah, I followed them.
Yes.
It's a cellar. Nothing fancy about it, but there's a
It's-
padlock right up your alley. Because the cellar's in an alley. That's the joke.
Well, now, what we should do is now that we know where it is, it would be good to go talk to Man and see if he lies about where it is. Maybe get some more information.
I think I'm just going to go burrow inside his mind for a while.
Exactly.
You've really got
sounds
on that stick,
uncomfortable.
haven't you?
Well, I mean, honestly, if you're going to ask somebody questions, why bother beating around the bush? Just go to the source.
I mean, we could always use my method.
Your
Yes,
method-
you
Yeah,
do
three people
realize.
arrested.
To physically harm this man.
To be fair, actually, the both of us, we actually got some good information out of Markov. Well, speaking of which, one of us should really go and tell the Anvilers that
Oh Oh yeah.
that we actually did solve her mystery.
I assume that could have just been done at some point.
No, we
Well,
did.
at this
It's
point,
nighttime. She's probably sleeping.
it's reasonable that perhaps Forge Master Thunderflare would have sent for you, but it seems the events in the barricade district have kind of superseded much else of what's going on. Obviously, help someone make bad weapon is not as good as one of the regents is working with an outside power to undermine the city of Kovler. So everything seems to have largely taken a back seat to this revelation.
All problems
Priorities.
are equally important to heroes, which we're not.
There's one right over here.
No.
Then there's
Markov
you
definitely
people.
still in jail though. But the five of you back, having learned of some location, it being fairly late now, these are all tasks that can wait for another day. And as you rest, this is the fun one, where your day is pretty much just the night. You get the tail end of a forge day, and then it's mostly just night.
Yay.
But as you rest, recuperate, and wake in the morning, preparing your magic, readying your armor and
I'm
weapons in
very
case you gotta
grumpy and
murder a
demand
bunch of
breakfast.
people. Well, you may be very grumpy, but perhaps this is just how Marshall has kind of brought his rage under control, is to just be moderately upset all of the time, instead of not upset or extremely upset.
So am I really Bruce Banner?
Because at this point, you would have finished your retraining.
Oh, I have.
Yes,
Oh,
and
sweet.
you now feel, after some weeks of practice, much more capable of controlling your rage, or at least to some extent, instead of just going bananas all the time.
I feel like it was 2 days
Actually-
of practice and 4 nights of dreaming.
Yeah.
Probably.
Actually, the way now that you phrased it that way, I just kind of go outside after, and I meet up with the others, and I look specifically at Resme, and I hold up my drinking horn of specific rage wine, as we like to call it. So, like, Resme, I think I did it. And I just drop it and break it. I don't need it anymore.
You've decided to quit drinking?
That's
No.
a very important step. We're here to support you.
Who are you and what have you done with Marshall?
No. Watch. I just rage and transform instantly and then shrink right back down without the wine.
Oh, how nice.
I imagine still be quite fatigued afterward, but you'd be able to control it.
Oh,
That's the point. And then you just see just the calm demeanor of Marshall. See? No sweat, no wine. Thanks to Raz, I think I finally achieved what's that thing? Inner
Inner
Serenity?
tranquility or inner
yeah,
rage?
that both. Tranquil rage.
Oh, I'm glad that worked. I didn't think that would work. I've never actually used that spell before. Now I've used it 4 times. I can help anyone.
Yeah, you're a good coach. I should make you a suit like Trishik's.
I gave him really bad dreams 4 nights in a row.
Well, I
That
mean,
taught him to control his anger.
well, I've heard quitting drinking is always very difficult.
Oh, I'm not quitting drinking, just the wine. I don't need it.
Oh, you're quitting
Well,
wine.
it's a step. It's a step.
At this point, we could make a happy Caden Kaylee night out of you. You're not such much of an angry drunk now. Just angry.
You can be angry and you can be drunk. You just can't be an angry drunk,
Exactly.
which is actually anathema.
So wait, if you're always angry,
You're not an angry
you're
drunk.
not an anathema.
You're just drunk.
Oh, okay.
I am
Which
so
is what we call a loophole. But with that, I think before we get into today's activities,
Oh, yes.
we should take our midstream break real quick. Because while you may not have to drink anymore, Marshall, I have drank a lot and definitely have to pee. So
I'm right there. With you.
we're going to stand up, everyone, and take a couple of minutes of break. Usually is about 5-10 minutes of downtime, so feel free to get some drinks, get some snacks.
Stretch your legs.
Stretch your legs a bit. That's
Get some
definitely what
hero
we're going to
points.
do, so we don't just sit
Yes.
here for 4 hours straight without moving. We'll give you some highlights to entertain you in the meantime, but when we come back, well, the Mountainheart's indicted. We may know where the hidden forge is. This smacks of progress.
Yeah.
Stay tuned, everybody.
Much progress.
Back now. But as we return to our adventures here, back to the Two Perception Show, as always, again, thank you to Paizo for sponsoring us, having us here. Thank you to Sirenscape, who give all of our cool sound sets and the soundboards and everything, Sounds of the City and whatnot. more to come soon, and I'm very excited, honestly, to leave the studio and go to the place where mail arrives. But we were awaiting on a new day. We've gotten the Mountainheart of the Stonemasons Guild arrested. He is certainly at the head of the Troubles Den Kovler. But also, Rez may have located the hidden forge, hideout for the cult of Droskar. It's been operating within the city.
You know, if we know where the forge is, we really don't have to talk to Stoneheart right now. I mean, whatever we learned from him, we can learn from him was gonna help us find the lair. But now that we know what the lair is, why don't we just go there?
Oh, you've given up on scrambling his neurons around.
No, I'm gonna do that later just for fun.
Sounds unpleasant. Still very unpleasant. Don't go into people's brains without permission.
How would you know?
Well,
About the time they're rolling around on the floor, drooling perhaps might be a good clue.
Well, also, have you not noticed that it's rather obvious when I start casting?
some people are stupid. Have you seen these dwarfs?
Oh,
Youch!
They called me a wizard. I'm not a wizard.
I mean, to be fair, those dwarves got very antsy when I was casting that light spell. Oh, they didn't like it one bit.
I mean, to be fair, if they don't know anything about magic, you do kind of do the whole wizard hat thing.
It's not a wizard's hat though. It's a different kind of hat. Wizard's hats are more pointy.
Raz, let me be straight with you.
So
You're smart. You're a smart guy, but remember, dwarves are not very
Smart.
smart.
perceptive.
I was gonna say
intelligent.
diverse in the kinds of magic casters that are around.
I
Unless
thought
you're a
you-
mercenary like myself, you've seen all kinds of things.
I thought you were going to say that
Ignorant.
the dwarves are not diverse. Now it's going to reference the Carpenters Guild.
Oh, we
they're,
don't count them.
they're a very diverse lot.
all two of them.
All two of them. Very
had a
diverse
member-
paths
They're
in
just a
life.
couple of delinquents. That's all they really are.
Either way,
Dwarven delinquents work with wood.
Dad. I'm gonna go make things out of wood.
It's not a phase, Mom.
It's not a thing.
That's not a thing!
You see, the Carpenters Guild.
I'm gonna make my
is
own
what
guild.
I make fun of and back in the academy.
The Carpenters Guild's like the nerds. That's like
Could just
I
call
mean,
the Carpenters Guild
essentially,
for a
I
wood.
says the guy who's streaming a Pathfinder campaign.
sit around. Oh my god. Anyways, as I was saying, you just tell them you're doing some sort of weird song and dance, and they'll probably believe you.
I could do some sort of weird song and dance, but I'm not particularly proficient at it.
I can teach you.
Oh, you dance very well.
Anyways,
Oh,
I know songs.
can I show you where the cellar is?
yeah, yes.
Mataz, lead the way. I'll show you where the cellar is.
All right, so if the group of you are going to head back out through the city to where Raz had located this cellar, back in the Earthfire District, this is the one where you wake in. What time of day is it? It was just day. You sleep, you wake up, it's still day. Right, it's tail end of day.
You haven't
Because
given us the time of day.
the day is so long. I never do. I'm having a hard time keeping track. What I should have done is sat down with my calendar and just like written forge days over the top of it, so I stopped having to do the mental process
I thought-
You're gonna like
That's what
draw
I
out
thought
like a
you-
highlighter
to
like
figure out
a
what
day and a third.
frickin' time of day
I
it
thought
is.
you
We
did
do what
that.
Nick does and have little.
No, I'm mental mathing this.
I saw you.
Nick has an Excel spreadsheet for it.
Yeah, there you go. You can do that.
Nick has an Excel spreadsheet for everything.
He does.
Yeah, he actually does.
I have an Excel spreadsheet for the Patreon names, and I
Nerd.
just updated it today, actually. But not much else, really. Everything else is just Word documents and this calendar. But anyway, he'll be able to lead you through their fire district.
Oh.
Past the clanging of anvils, the roar of forges, and back through to this almost the fringe of the city, of the northwestern edge. Ironically, this is probably the part of the Earthfire District that's the closest to the barricade and the Guild of Arms Hall and, you know, the heart of all of the guards that exist that could possibly rain down on them should they be discovered. But leading you into an alley if there is really a quieter part of the Earthfire District, it's all anvils and smithing and noise. It's really just a very loud area. It's like if you would ever been to any of the open air markets of Absalom or like Katapesh, any of the major trade hubs throughout Galarian at any point in your lives, probably not. Maybe,
Yeah.
definitely not, probably not. But it would be similar in noise level, just because of how loud all of the smithing that's happening is. Everything is just so much noise and fire and metal, and that actually sounds awesome when I say it like that.
Rasheen got a
Rhythm of
hero
the city.
point.
It just sounds like an
Right.
industrial metal concert.
I mean,
Kind of, yeah.
Why do you think I chose a dwarf as my race for making a character? Just
And
saying.
Lilivik, here's a reward for dunking on the Carpenter's Guild.
I'm not going to stop now. I'm getting a
Rasheen
reward for it.
has been
Exactly.
encouraged now. This is a
If
mistake.
encouragement's
It's
not good.
never
You
punished.
hate to see it. Never
encouragement.
frickin' punished. He would lead you back into an alley to this cellar, which has, again, a pretty hefty lock sat on it. But it's fairly out of the way. There are some people moving on the streets outside. It's not often. The Earthfire District has a lot of production. It's the streets, almost counterintuitively, are far less busy than most of the rest of the city because most people are in their forges working. And outside of the very morning of the forge day and the very end of it, or supply wagons coming in or out for various merchants with raw materials or processed goods, there's really not a lot of people moving around. And this is like mid-afternoon on the forge day, maybe late afternoon. It's a pretty quiet part of town, figuratively speaking. Obviously, we went over how it's not quiet, literally. That was a poor word choice. He brings you to the thing.
Relatively quiet.
Relatively slow. We're not going to use quiet because it's loud.
That's locked.
Seems simple enough.
I saw it and said she can pick it.
I'm gonna pull out my skeleton key, and I'm gonna do something that I didn't believe I would ever actually do, but I want to roll at a plus 30. So I'm gonna use knock. Once per hour with a greater skeleton key, you can cast knock, which is a status bonus of plus 4 to pick the lock you're trying to pick, but you can only use it before you start trying.
Okay.
Does that mean you open up the door? It's real?
Pretty much.
Only if you did it twice.
And the key itself gives you a plus 2 item bonus, meaning that my 24 becomes a 30, making it the highest modifier we've rolled with to date.
That's plus 30 is a large freaking number.
It's chonky.
Yeah, so you succeed, but if you want to roll it, go ahead. You have plus the DC, so
That's a 19.
49.
If I had a hero point, I would
There's the
re-roll it to
49.
try and get a 20.
you'd get a 1, and karma would come back for you.
The lock or the greater skeleton key can't break.
I mean, you wouldn't even critically fail. You'd regular fail because you still beat the DC. So it's like that's what I mean. You have plus the DC as a modifier. So
Good job.
Yeah, so plus 30 is a hell of a drug.
that's a big number.
You
It turns out
49 to pick a lock. That's
Yeah.
pretty good. It's pretty good.
it's gonna be.
He
He's
doesn't
gonna.
even-
It
Like, you've
just
seen-
opens before he sticks it in.
Yeah, you've seen.
Taps on
He
it.
reaches down and it just. He's like, this isn't.
It's like-
even, this is not even locked.
I give up.
But you've seen Drashik pick locks before, even with the skeleton key. It takes a bit of time and finesse and process, but it literally just looks like he puts the key in and turns it. It just opens. Like,
He rakes it.
he doesn't even rake it. He rakes it once by inserting the key, and then it's already all the way open. Like,
I actually think you opened that faster than if we had had the key.
It's most likely an item likes to snake its way in. It's not like the teeth on key where you have to push all the different tumblers down. It just magically will push them down where they need to be.
Sheik, that was very impressive.
He's just being modest. That was actually all skill.
but opening this cellar, you see something a little bit interesting. It's about a little under 10 feet wide. It's a fairly big cellar entry, mostly standard for, it's like a standard wide cellar entrance you would see. It's not an incredibly narrow staircase or anything because all the basements in these buildings in the Fire District, they need to haul a lot of gear and metal and whatnot up. So they need room to be able to do this. But the staircase does not descend down to a landing that you can immediately see. The staircase descends down and down and down. This goes dramatically beneath what would be a basement or even a basement beneath a basement, down into the darkness, just where the sheer distance makes it difficult for even Marshall to see what's at the bottom.
So I'm going to activate my dark vision and cast Prying Eye and send it 500 feet ahead of us.
It's not quite that deep. So here, as you're, you cast a spell,
Just explodes across the floor.
it smashes into the ground and explodes. You send this eye down to the bottom of the staircase, and it reaches down. Even with the dark vision, you can see there is a bit of light in the room at the bottom of the staircase, where it expands into a chamber maybe 40 feet wide and 30 feet deep, a fairly large area for what looks like it would be storage. And down at the bottom of it, there's not a lot throughout this room. There is a large double door set into the wall directly across from you, the only seemingly means of proceeding through this room, and a couple of sconces along the walls set for torches, most unlit. There are a pair of statues flanking the staircase that look to be of dwarves, much akin to the statues that they have throughout the Guild of Arms or in the Hall of Oaths, just of prominent, massive sculptures of some dwarven figures from history. Although you get the feeling these ones might not be particularly fondly looked upon by much of the population of Kovler. But ostensibly, they don't look much different than the rest. They bear no weapons and are carved with kind of surprisingly light armor for a dwarf, foregoing greaves and sabatons entirely for what looks like a heavy cloak extending from the waist down to the pedestal upon which the statues sit. Each of them is standing in a pose with their hands palms out, almost down to their sides, but a little out, not straight down, almost as if they were channeling something. And rising up from their breastplates, each statue is carved with a hood over its face and nearly no facial features distinguishable underneath.
So I am going to cast Detect Magic, which is going to transmit to my Prying Eye, and I'm going to attempt to perform a formal seek action with the eye using my perception to see if I can tell if anything in this area is a magical trap.
Okay. Go ahead and roll me a perception check.
That is a nat 20, my friend.
So as you look around the area, the walls are void of any real carvings or anything of interest. There's not a whole lot to look at save for the door itself and the pair of statues. The door, though it is quite large, is made of stout wood reinforced with a few bands of iron across its front. Two massive iron rings on either half of it would allow it to be pulled open, but it doesn't appear to be locked, nor does it even actually seem to possess a latch. You don't see any kind of a trap or anything around it, but you can see through, even with your dark vision, the quite dim light of this room, barely visible along the seams of the door. It seems the room beyond is lit a bit more brightly than this antechamber. Above the door, you speak, Dwarven. Above the door is a simple carving in thick block text embossed above the archway itself that states, "Profess the faith," with no other context or embellishment. Lastly, you would notice that the two statues standing on their plinths do have a very fine, near indistinguishable seam between the pedestal and the statue itself. While their feet are obscured by almost the bottom of a robe flowing outwards, it's clearly not attached as a separate piece.
Mega sus.
Resme gets this look on her face.
I get this look on my face.
More golems, really?
Make me a religion check.
It's not like I haven't seen 10 things.
That's-
It's gonna be a 10. Religion ain't my thing.
Fair enough. It's not your thing. I'm not even gonna like make
No.
up some crap like you don't know anything and you're aware nothing stands out to you. you don't know enough to be wrong on a critical failure. Nothing stands out to you.
Well, I'm fairly certain at the bottom of the stairs there are some large rock things that are going to come and attack us.
Oh, that's spectacular.
Well, in that case, just pull out my axe, go, form of rectangle.
I like how you cock your weapon.
And
That's the greatest interpretation of the manipulate.
And
I
then
cock
it's
my
like-
hammer.
And then the blade just morphs into a maul.
Best be ready for it. Well,
All
anything
right.
else down there we have to worry about?
Resme will describe exactly what she
Hey, what's
saw.
the title of this episode?
I saw it. I
To
saw
hell
what you
with
posted.
you.
Golems for everyone or something like
No,
that.
it's golems are uncommon, by the way.
Yeah.
Common.
I'm gonna choke back a Drakeheart mutagen.
So if you describe it to me,
Yeah, I will.
is that enough for me to get a check?
It would be at a bit of a, certainly at a penalty. I'd give you.
Can I
I'd be rolling for you anyway.
can
What?
I aid another on that or no?
Do you want to aid another? Or do you want to take the lead on it,
I think
Bard man?
I think our religious character should take the lead on religion, but I can definitely give some.
It is Arcana or crafting. It's either one.
Oh,
Or
can I
crafting.
do it?
But you had to roll religion? Was
Well,
there something in there that was
We'll
religion
never know.
triggeting?
Religion's
We'll
not
never
her
know.
thing.
All right.
Oh,
Alright.
Well, we'll know eventually when we all walk down there together
Well,
as a
fair
team
enough.
for a team building exercise.
Fair enough. Well, I'm not going to think about any of it then.
Not
If it's
gonna
Arcana or
think.
crafting, it is beyond me.
I want to do crafting.
I'm
just
still
because we're in
gonna
Dwarfland doesn't mean you can
throw
just roll
in some-
crafting.
Yes, it does.
It does.
assisting.
Okay, you can roll to aid. That's not secret. So I'm gonna give you guys a -4 for just having like a brief verbal. Doesn't really know what she's looking at.
15 then.
So many
I'm
gifts.
gonna use these because I got them. I got a stack just sitting over here.
Ooh, make it
I
rain.
pulled out a.
You don't get to roll dice very often.
I pulled out a
Ask me,
Raz
bud.
is like thinking really hard. He scrounges around. He pulls out a piece of paper, looks at it, throws it out, pulls out another one and looks at it.
A little better.
Roll from an 18 to a -4. So that's a total of a 21.
Oh, you get the 8, so you get +1.
Hey.
16.
You craft.
With the 4 penalty already factored in and the +1.
Okie dokie. +16, you say. You would say that, well, it's certainly, I mean, well, you say what everyone's thinking. It sounds like a golem. And if Embermead is organizing this cult of Droskar here, if that's even its own bespoke thing and not just the Scarlet Triad operating undercover, it's not even like you haven't fought golems, the Scarlet Triad. You've actually fought just so many golems that the Scarlet Triad has had. It's not really new anymore. Context clues provide very high evidence for golem. It's the Scarlet Triad. It's
You
a
might say this
statue
is a
standing on
common
a plinth.
occurrence.
It's
gonna
the
smack
name
you.
of the episode. It's
I'm pretty sure it's a
it was in
double.
it's in the thumbnail for this if you're watching it on YouTube.
Pretty sure it's bone double.
But could be a bone devil.
He's back for his revenge.
Anything's possible.
Oh, I'll get that bone devil.
Resme will look at Marshall and say, "We're gonna try something a little bit different
But
to
you
see if we
haven't
can't keep you
fought
safer."
a stone golem before. I don't think. I think you fought clay
fought
and
clay.
alchemical.
We
We fought one.
You fought us.
It was
In the warehouse.
It was in the warehouse
the
of stone.
statue.
Yeah, the statue.
You're almost. That was a stone, right? I thought
Yeah,
that was
no.
clay. That was book 3. That was a stone.
Yeah, it was right before I joined in.
You think it's very possible that this is a similar thing to what you face in the warehouse in Kintargo.
All right. Apartum. And you all will see Marshall's form become indistinct. You'll feel a little warm. I cast blur on him. He's got concealment,
He's warm blur.
Oh, he's vibrating at a super high frequency.
and I'm gonna choke down a Drakeheart mutagen, moderate.
I feel funny.
What levels of moderate Drakeheart vision?
Huh?
What levels of moderate Drakeheart vision? Oh, I thought moderate was higher than that.
No,
Fair enough.
moderate heals are way higher. Drake hearts are.
Oh, because
level
moderate
5.
has 2 tiers, or healing has 2 tiers below moderate.
Yeah,
Right,
It goes
okay.
minor than lesser than moderate, and with
Yeah.
Drakeheart's just lesser than moderate.
Fair enough. That's what I was thinking. I was like, yeah, how the heck do you make 3rd tier ones? So, as you ready to head down the staircase here, what
Krogox.
is...
Not forgetting heroism this time.
I'm ready. What is everyone
Actually,
doing?
I am going to use the gel this time.
Repulsion gel. Fantastic, my good friend. Let me find that real quick, unless you remember what it does.
I
because-
do. I
Okay.
basically, it's like a chance on hits.
So you kind of
It's a
know what it
knockback.
does, so I need to look it up. I know,
remember
there it is.
the-
Oil repulsion.
I can't remember the DC for it though.
It's 28. That's what I need. It was the DC.
Raz, hold my
DC
hands.
28 or they get bonked.
I'll take Raz's hands.
You just take them.
I
And
need those for casting.
Those are mine.
you'll feel a warmth flow over you, and the gloves will actually turn to almost look like little rat paws. And you'll feel this aura of safety come over you. You get +10 temporary hit points and +1 to all of your saves.
Ooh.
And do you like Resme?
Profess to me your feelings, Rez.
So,
That's fine.
So for
It
what
is
it's
not-
worth, no one knows that you don't have feelings for Resme except Resme.
It has to be really strong feelings, and we just met like a month ago, so I'm really not that surprised.
You've only been through like 10 life-threatening situations
right?
together. I
Only
mean,
10.
Only 10.
But mostly it's. Please stay alive.
So, have you heard about the Plague of Dragons? I'm gonna start continuously casting Inspire Defense.
so as you go down, you are going to be telling this story. Rasheen, what are you doing?
I'm gonna trust that Trushik will be using his legendary perception, so I'll keep my shield up.
How about you, Resme? We're not going to have a Buford situation again.
I was already seeking with the eye, so
Right, so you're
that's
still
what I
just
was
looking
doing.
around the
Yeah.
room.
I am unfortunately going to be seeking because stealthing's not. It's a golem.
So,
He doesn't care. Golem hears you. Golem don't
to
care.
interrupt my story here, do we have light?
It is dimly lit.
Okay.
It is dimly lit. They
It's
will be
just
concealed.
3 of us have dark vision. So
Yeah.
And I have low light.
2 of us don't.
You are
Just low
actually
light.
the only
Low
one who
light.
doesn't have. Oh, you have low light?
I have the light.
Oh, well, you're fine then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Guys have low light?
Yeah.
Do you have low light? You have dark vision.
I have dark vision.
So literally everyone's fine. Like you're all fine in
That
dim
was
light.
what I was worried about. I
Yeah,
was
nobody
afraid-
cares. It's not pitch dark.
It's a dwarf. It's a okay. The dwarf cult. They do things in the dark.
Which is interesting that it is lit because it is it's a dwarven city. If it's a dwarven cult of Droskar. I mean, even Embermead's a dwarf, obviously. They don't need light. They're keeping, well, it looks in the prying eye like there were a pair of sconces on either side of the entry stairs and a pair of sconces on either side of the door. And of those, one of the torches was actually lit. And it was just the one next to the door on your left as you came down. Everything else is extinguished. So, like, they're not keeping everything on, but they're doing the effort to keep a torch lit. If it was like one of those, if it was a magical continual flame, they wouldn't need to worry about it. But someone is very intentionally keeping light in this room a little.
Maybe golems don't have dark vision?
Anyway,
Wishful thinking.
What are you doing, Marshall?
got my hammer ready.
He's ready for action. He just wants to fight something. The group of you make your way down the
So
stairs.
scouting.
Got it.
Yeah, I figured it was scouting. It is some distance. As I said, it goes much deeper than a standard basement. As a matter of fact, these stairs descend about 80 feet beneath the city of Kovler before you really start to be able to see into this room before you. And you have revealed the room fantastically here. Are we on the map, Osino? Can they see the cool stuff? Show them the cool stuff. Yeah. Into this chamber. The single door. And as you come to the bottom of the staircase, Rasheen with your shield up in the front, I imagine already turned towards this big statue that's right next to you. You can now all see a pair of massive statues flanking the entryway. Nothing happens immediately.
All right, all. As we all know, magic's not particularly useful against these things, so I'm going to spend most of my time making sure all of you do better.
Oh,
Right.
appreciate it.
Well,
Well-
they haven't moved yet. There must be something that triggers them.
Shapestone.
Do I see anything with my special eyes?
Do you want to walk up and cast Shapestone on him? It's touch, isn't it?
No, not with reach.
That's fair. If you start casting Shapestone on them, we are immediately going to roll initiative. Because
That's what I
they're
figured. Skip.
Absolutely going to wake up at that. And move Resme closer into the room because she needs up side of him. But at that, with the grinding of stone and an earthen roar, we would have two mildly upset stone golems.
Oh, not too bad today.
That doesn't look like a stone golem.
That's because there's only one in the bestiary box, so shut up.
Raz,
kind of stony.
Yeah, it's like stony, and it's also large size.
We get at the beginning of the fight.
You have inspired defense on.
Inspired
I mean,
defense.
Martial's scouting, so everyone gets
Yeah.
+1.
I forgot
so
what inspired defense. Oh, +1 to
It's
AC
that.
and saves.
Oh,
Okay,
okay.
got it.
Does heroism do anything?
Heroism does stuff for me.
Okay.
Just for
I didn't know if it was a group thing or not.
No.
15, 16,
This is the time of battle.
17.
cute battle music.
There's
Bad time.
The cue battle music.
I'm gonna spend this shiny hero point here on this year initiative.
Thank you.
Seems
We're gonna get 2.
Oh, 2 of hero point. You guys want to be faster than you are.
I'm a little bit faster.
so. I kind of right as they're moving, I look at
saw
Rashid.
that.
All that, right?
You got cheated.
I got cheated.
That's why you always clear the
Gotta
tray.
clear the dot.
I kind of look at Rashid. I'm like, so I go right, you go left.
That works.
But it is better than what I rolled. It's twice as good. So I rolled an 18, but it hit your die, and your die came back to it until 4.
Well, you should take my die out and hand it back to me.
You should. Well, it's the one you just rolled, so it's fine.
It's fine, Skeleton.
It's fine. I have my lucky shirt.
26, 28, 29.
Forgot to save a thing for that, apparently. All right, Trishik, what do you got?
29.
Marshall.
So it's +1 because of scouting.
Yes.
So 36.
Ooh, that's pretty good. Raz.
I'm
27.
ready.
He wasn't. Rasheen,
Also 29,
let's go first.
if I may.
Yeah.
All right.
Lady in front, please. Resme.
39.
39.
Spellcaster hopefully moves quickly and then retreats. But
And then
That
I
was the
have
plan.
2 lads here of these golems of stone.
Oh yeah, we've definitely fought them before.
Yeah.
Because he looks like William Defoe. That's why I remember.
I actually do remember that conversation the last time it showed up. That's fair. We
One of the
definitely found
streams
one.
I watched before I joined on.
Was the stone
it was
golem
one of the
fight?
ones I was
Okay,
at.
this was like immediately before Eleanor
Yeah.
got this.
Did we banish a demon in that episode too?
You
Yeah,
absolutely
we
did.
totally did.
there was a demon on
Marshall, what'd you get?
I
You
got
got
36.
36. All right.
Yeah.
First one on the left is a 34.
This one got a 57.
No, like 28.
Oh.
They're stone golems. They are good at a lot of things. Fast is not one of them. Resme, as would make sense, as you are the one that is casting Shape Stone on them. As you reach out with this magic, you're casting Shape Stone on them. Is the thing that you were doing?
Pardon?
You're casting Shape Stone on them. That's what you were doing.
Yeah.
You reach out with your magic, knowing that these golems can't be weak to things that does actually affect
Affect
their
stone.
base
Yeah.
matter. Which one are you casting on?
The one to the right.
So as you reach out with your magic and try to shape stone at this thing, you can feel the magic. It doesn't fizzle like a lot of other spells you would cast at a golem. They're just innate immunity to magic. It doesn't disperse entirely, but it's almost immutable. It has no effect. It's as if you are able to connect your magic to the stone of the golem itself, but not able to exert any actual power over it. I will leave you with one action left.
I am going to cast True Strike on the golem to my right.
True target.
Yeah, True Target.
Yeah,
sorry.
True Strike
Sorry,
is
True
you.
Target.
Punch it.
And I am going to cast out a vision of exactly where everyone needs to hit these things
As-
from my memories of what I did before.
And as this fountains out from Resme, you all get like a weird, warped, almost fuzzed image, and the spell fizzles entirely. against the golem's anti-magic. It does target the golem. He's immune to it. Marshall.
That's
Resme has a great time with golems. Historically.
I'm gonna go ahead and take a step up in front of Resme, and Mega Marshal time.
Doesn't need the wine anymore. It's time to get big. So the ceiling's about 10 feet overhead here, so you definitely couldn't get
so
huge.
no Mega Marshal, just Big Marshal.
You can get big Marshall. You'll be a little. It's like you'll be a little stooped again, but you can get large in there. You'll be able to move fine. It's
That's
just
good enough for me.
yeah.
That's good enough for me.
Big time.
So Big Marshal it is. Still good enough. So Big Marshal, and then I'm gonna take a swing at the golem on the right here. Cause big boy numbers.
Do we all mean the golem on the left when we say the
Well,
golem on the right? Because everyone's saying the golem on the right and pointing at the golem on the left.
I'm assuming.
His left and our right.
It is
Assuming
upside down to
stage
you
right.
three because you three have this one.
I'm assuming
Yeah.
stage right.
Stage
We're
right is
coming
their right.
down the stairs.
Another-
It's
Oh,
on
you're
our
right. Okay, I see what you mean.
So another point of order. Did you want to expand into the middle? Or did you want to expand to block the golem?
I want to block the golem.
Okay.
I'm going to tighten my grip a little bit since
Whack gooder.
yep, because hammer time. That
Man,
was definitely not.
Chris, thank you for the raid.
40% worse.
Yeah. So. Oh wait, +1.
That's
Oh, no,
not-
That's AC, that's defense.
So never mind. That's 29. So that's not gonna do anything.
Yeah, 29, you swing this big rectangle, and obviously hitting the golem is not hard. But your hammer slams against it. It isn't rebuffed, it doesn't bounce, but it just smashes into the thing's shoulder, almost seemingly harmlessly. There's a bit of a crumble and a bit of a crack, but it does no real damage. You have fought a stone golem before,
Yeah.
and you smashed it to absolute oblivion. You personally smashed it to absolute smithereens with not a ton of difficulty, really. This golem clearly is much stronger than the one you'd face in the warehouse. So it seems to be similar in makeup, similar, like it's a near identical monstrosity. It is dramatically more resilient.
Huh. This one's
And,
a little tougher.
And it is also mad. And it is, as it doesn't even step down from its plinth, just shuffling one side of its skirt forward. No real view of its feet, if it even has any. Swinging one of its hands down from this position, out wide, open palm, almost like a slap towards Marshall.
So I have two things on me. I have both blur from Resme.
Yes, you have
as well
concealment.
as my repulsion gel.
Yep, you have concealment, which is the first check. He's got to do concealment. He passes concealment, and then if he hits you, there's also a repulsion gel. What?
I'm not talking to you. I'm talking
Oh, okay. And then he is gonna swing for a 41 to hit, and then he has to make a fortitude save.
41 to hit.
Yes,
Yeah, it does not crit
it does not crit.
because of a +1 from the defense.
You have 31 or 32 raging now.
Well, +1 from the inspired defense thing.
We're getting a real AC hours.
Look at that.
32 raging does not crit. All right, he is going to smack.
That +1 made a difference.
Did make a difference. The plus ones don't count the plus ones out in second edition. They do lots
Never.
of stuff.
Oh, I appreciate it. Trust me.
My entire character is +1s.
For 27 points of bludgeoning damage. And as his hand similarly kind of slams into Marshall and just stops.
So 20 points because
Right, it is bludgeoning. This is actually a great.
Is
Your
your
bludgeoning.
still 7 at this level?
Yeah, it's
It doesn't. It's
Constitution plus-
every even it goes up.
Yeah.
You slam your hammer into it. It doesn't move. It slams its hand into you. You don't move. You both just kind of smack each other.
I get like a giant handprint on my chest. I'm like, okay.
And as you both stall each other's movement, the thing shifts a little, hunkering down just a bit, clenching its other hand, and a pulse of energy radiates out from it. And I need everybody to make a fortitude save except Raz, who is all the way around the corner.
Don't you dare tell me these stone golems can cast magic, because that's cheap.
Huh.
Hey, you can hit me from there?
That's not a good roll.
You're like at the corner.
Oh.
If it was a reflex save, you'd have good save.
I am going to realize that I am in the middle of things and I should not be, and I'm gonna try to duck
no.
back and. Nice.
Natural
20.
20 for a
a lot.
41,
I'm just gonna
42.
spoiler alert. I just
Unbothered. Marshall and Fortitude saves. He doesn't
Plus,
care.
Juggernaut says by everything get big.
If you
succeed,
don't
I forget.
forget-
You rolled a
Much
20. You just
better.
crit succeed. You
I
don't.
rolled a
plus one
17
from-
and a half.
Yep.
Oh, he rolled a 20. I thought that was
I
your
rolled
20.
a 20.
He rolled a 20. I rolled a 17. But still got like a 27.
Aren't you all just
I'm
peach?
sure you guys are great.
Well, see, I have the
Yep,
power
I did.
of
Rasheen.
malachite dice.
So I rolled a 24.
So with a 24, as this wave that pulses out from the golem hits you, you feel yourself start to it almost at first feels like you're locking up, like you're cramping, but it's painless, and then you realize that you are just losing momentum. You are slowed one.
I thought you were about to say these things can inflict an AoE petrify.
Imagine it just pulls petrified. How about you,
And the
Esme?
party was never heard from again.
37.
37, you're okay. The rest of you feel this wash over you, but it's not enough to slow any of you down. And he is going to slap again, bringing that hand up now, almost like he's grabbing at Marshall, but more just he's clapped one hand, now claps the other, just trying to slap at you.
Is he trying to slap you?
He is, yeah, his hand is open. He's clenched a little, but he just slams it into you for like he's just clubbing with it. They're not smart. They're just smacking you.
I don't know. They cast a spell.
Wizards.
It's gonna be pretty bad though. It's only 29 to hit you on that second
no.
one, which will bring us to Roshin.
Just kind of feel this. So I knew there were golems here. Got this morning star in my hand. Just ring fingers up. Noctuk. And that's Vision of Weakness focus spell. So I get which of its 3 saves is the lowest, and I get a +2 status on my next attack roll, and it's I get to know any of its weaknesses.
I'm just gonna add, what do you think is its lowest save?
I'm gonna guess reflex.
You are correct, good
Man,
sir.
stab the dark. Stab
Ooh.
Giant slow rock golem man does not have a good reflex save. That is accurate. But you would see this golem with your vision, this of flash, being locked in battle, used almost as like a line soldier on a battlefield. Weapons of all kinds rebuffed from its stone hide, almost impenetrable. Storm clouds rolling overhead, limiting your vision of what's actually happening, but you can see bits of frost throughout the ground and the trees around this battle. It's not rain that's coming, but a hail. And as it comes, as it starts to pour, it's clearly unnatural. These hailstones striking down, though they would hit with a physical impact far inferior to that of a weapon, smashing through this golem with ease as the cold wreak havoc on its rock hide.
Ice and water. They'll
Also,
tear it apart.
Also, a dude stabs it with an adamantine knife.
Also, this happened.
So is that one action or two?
That's
Left.
I have one left. Ice and water tear it apart, and she's going to just throw her morning star the thing,
Yeah.
because I don't have the action to step up and hit it.
Does it have the thrown trait?
Not really, no.
Okay,
ranged
roll me a
strike.
ranged attack.
It's a strike. So my curse is happy.
Okay. Your
Nat
curse is
20.
really
His curse is so happy.
so.
Lonnie rewards.
Well, the magic of the striking rune kind of helps guide your hand and almost move the weapon with its own strange bit of intelligence to strike true. It doesn't really work when you just chuck it. So it's pretty much an improvised weapon at this point. That's going to do D8 plus your strength or whatever. It's not going to get you striking runes. But what does a 20 give you total?
20 gives me total. Do I get my proficiency with it?
Are you? I don't think you're separate proficiency for melee
Okay,
and throw. Well,
so-
is improvised proficiency a separate thing in second edition?
I don't
No.
know.
I don't think it is. I don't think it is.
Simple,
Okay.
it's simple.
So
But yeah, it's all treated as simple, so you can hit someone with a bar stool if you feel like it.
Yeah.
So that's gonna drop to 20 because I'm using my dex for the attack, and I'm got +2 from this. So that's going
42.
to be a 42.
Not only is it going to hit, it is going to critically hit.
And I get a D8 plus damage, right?
Yep. Melania has guided your hand. Bonk.
Milani
On
has
an
guided his
Max.
hand.
Nice. So that's going to be plus 6. So that's going to be a 14 up to 48. Sorry, 28. Sorry, 28
I was like, what?
bludgeoning.
What the heck just happened? What in the math?
Wow.
So as you hit this thing, your Morning Star colliding very strongly with this golem on the right here. It's going to strike true. It's going to crack into the thing. It's going to surprisingly seem to have more of effect than Marshall's hit. But it's going to hit, thud in, and kind of bounce off. It's not going to do quite as much damage as you would expect it to. You've fought golems enough to realize that traditional weapons are not terribly effective on them, but it is still going to do most of that damage. Trishik.
Well, these are golems. They're backed up into a corner, and I'm not sneaking.
Yeah. Yeah.
Life is good.
It's a good day to be a
There's a
rogue.
door on the other side of the room.
There's a door on the other side of the
I'm
room.
sure there's no encounter on the other side of that door waiting to go jump us. I'm sure it's fine.
Well, I mean, I have an idea.
Okay.
It's not a good one, but I could always roll another 20.
Okay.
I like this already.
That's a great start to a turn.
I'm gonna mobility up to the golem that has not acted yet,
Okay. The one that Rasheen just struck.
and I'm going to grapple it.
It is large. You can do that.
And if I
Why did he just machine gun punch Sirenscape? Sirenscape just played the punch down like 5 times. Did he touch something or did he just derp?
Probably it's like a random interval and it's 0 to something. And it
Oh, it probably is. And it just rolled 0 a whole bunch of times in a row and you got the machine gun fist. These golems are getting more terrifying by the moment. They don't just have magic. They have automatic weapons.
so if this is a 20, I'm pretty sure he's pinned and cannot do anything but try to get out.
So grapple is 4 TC.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yep.
Malachite, guide us.
That's pretty high.
That's
So
15.
15, so 36. He should be grabbed.
That's exactly it, though. Yeah, you
Yeah.
grab a hold of it. It is certainly grabbed. It's flat-footed.
So I'm
You're
now,
kind of clinging. You are strong enough to somewhat restrain a golem.
and
Lol.
I'm now going to attack it because it's flat-footed to me.
Grab arm, claw at arm.
Alrighty, so
It wasn't a stupid idea.
I
Look,
see a
you
lizard
big
like just
brain.
latching onto its arm. And it's
I'm not sneaking. I have to improvise how to get my flat-footed.
Hey, you're doing
Yeah, well,
great.
just latch onto it.
Yeah.
Give it the old dragon's dogma.
Nat 20.
Nat
To a nat
20.
20.
Because the gods hate squid.
Oh, it's amazing.
See, the camera says it. I'm not. That's the power of Malachite. So if you want good dice that always give you 20s when you need them, get Norse Foundry's Malachite dice. Shilling right there. There you go. I get 20s all the time using this dice.
Yeah, that's gonna crit. I mean,
So
get a,
I was swinging at a 22. I'm
That's
sure that
good.
crits.
yeah, that's gonna crit him. That's happening.
And it's sneak attack. So
They're not immune to precision damage, so you can sneak attack them.
You have to have the focus of magic.
16, 24, 48.
Okay, so you, this is the one that's already been blocked. You do, again, feel your claws are somewhat rebuffed. This thing's very solid, but most of that damage is still going in. It's gonna resist some. Alright. About that maybe on the golem, man.
The shilling pays off.
You mean the
Norse
money?
Foundry has been handing me 20s in secret. You just can't see the
I
backhand
know.
deals.
Oh god.
His die only has 20. It has like 5 20s.
That guy's
And,
a human.
How
This-
many 20s can you put on a die where you can't see them all from one angle?
I think you could get like
You could probably
3,
get 5 on
maybe
there.
4. Because you could have 1 and then have them like,
Yeah.
triangle at the bottom. I think
Why
you
am
get 4,
I
but that
friends
makes
with you
immediately apparent.
nerds?
I mean, good question.
The power of the
married to one
dodecahedron.
of them.
You're here, so.
But
Oh, yeah.
that golem, as you cling onto it and just start clawing away at it, just kind of hanging on to its arm. No, I mean, it's effective. It's not Nick. You're ripping chunks out of this thing.
I, like, no joke, walked up to a golem, probably not twice my size, because I'm getting like 7'4".
You are a pretty big lizard.
So walk up, grab it by the arm, pull it down, and like jab claws into its chest.
And it moves its hand up, and you can feel the fingers clench a little bit. Another pulse of energy comes out of this one. And I need... This one's got line of effect to you, because you're on the other side of the staircase. So everybody, I mean, don't bother. It doesn't stack.
Yay.
Everybody but Roshin.
Can I off on it? It's a free
not a
action. Oh, it's not a spell. Okay.
Oh, yeah. I'll let you do it.
It's a free action.
Okay. It's a what is it, an Arcana check?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead and roll me an Arcana check and then your Fortitude save.
One encounter in.
Hey,
I'm a mute.
Fortitude save. We already knew that.
Raz feels the wave of.
You only make Fortitude saves because it makes you feel good.
Yep.
Raz
31
feels the wave of energy come to him.
3 for my fortitude save.
Does not want anything to do with it.
I got a 30.
You got a 30. And you're holding on to it.
Ground zero.
Yeah, you're taking the brunt of this blast. You're gonna be slowed 1 as well. Rez,
38.
you're all right. So Rez, what'd you get on the Fortitude save?
36 on the fortitude
And what'd you
save.
get on the Arcana?
33 on the arcana.
With the Arcana,
Sorry, 34.
The magic that's coming out of this thing, you can tell is not. There's no incantation. It's not a proper spell. It's just something about the enchantment of the golem itself. Some of this spell that is binding and animating it, it is able seemingly to release in a bit of a almost controlled. You're actually at the range, is why he actually doesn't hit you. You're at a range of this one. A controlled burst that doesn't reach very far, but can be overwhelming to, well, humans or any real living creature. And it doesn't physically calcify you, but it's almost exactly like the same effect as the magic behind a slow spell. As you can probably see from Trishik and Roshan starting to slow down pretty severely.
Did a 34 pass? I didn't hear.
34 past, yes.
Okay.
The golem then, as Trishik is clinging on to this thing, you cast your spell at it. Trishik is clawing it. It's just going to reach over with its other hand and just start smacking at its own arm. Just whacking at Trishik as you're clinging on here.
Nimble dodge.
How?
Lizard.
I have an acrobatics of plus 24, a dex score of 20.
you ever seen a squirrel on a tree?
Pretty much.
Yeah, that's pretty much
That's
it.
pretty much, yeah.
Not really grappling the stone golem.
That's true.
He's just grappled onto it. He's just on it.
Trishik's a pretty big guy. He's like 7 feet tall. He's not that much smaller than the golem.
I don't know this.
You do know this.
Everything is
You're
big to
supposed
me.
to be the smart
That's
one,
fair.
remember?
Everything is big to me.
Alrighty, that is going to be a... Ooh, you might actually be all right here. Math is really hard for me. 34.
Would you like to know that that misses?
Nimble.
Because of nimble dodge.
Nimble dodge value.
I
And
am
would
a
you like no
rogue.
added bonus from the overflowing chest of hero points here? Crimson Nexus to derp because he asked first.
Yeah, that's fair.
So you get for reading chat. You get hero points. They
So,
encourage you.
35 AC. Don't let being a rogue with not heavy armor fool you.
Is it
I can take
35
off
or-
my shirt and I'm just as fast.
Is it 35 or
And
36?
twice as sexy.
36.
And he is going to slam once more, still just trying to batter at you, making no attempts to pull himself away from you, just trying to bludgeon you to death as you're attached. Okay, so that went up by 9, down by 5, so 38.
That will hit.
And as you hit that one, as you feel yourself already kind of slowing from whatever this machine gun hand's gotta stop, man.
That's the individual fingers just like
Something is-
thinking out.
Something is wacky in the Sirenscape somewhere. I don't know
I
why
like
we
it.
have a very, very
I'm a
loud
fan.
machine gun going.
I love the horse
We'll
one.
pretend that that's them rolling 20s. It's just suddenly they speed up and bop, bop, bop.
R2.
Actuated wrist piston. Just like, I don't know. Something's weird in the sound setup. We messed some up and updated this morning and may have done a dumb. But,
I don't know. I like it.
I always do it.
I like the pick hammer. It's very loud is my only concern. And I'm not sure what to turn off because I don't know which sound is doing it.
It's some form of slam.
He's gonna hit you for 24 points of bludgeoning damage. But as he slams into you, you already kind of feeling overwhelmed by this magic that he's released. The connection of the golem itself is almost engaging that further. It's almost overloading it. I need you to make another fortitude save.
Alrighty. Oh, what am I doing? That's not the Malachite dice. Hold on. Here we go.
The machine gun golem is angry.
Well, you know, I just got it. So legally, I have to just spend it.
Not allowed to have hero points. They go in the trash instantly.
And as I feel that fist connecting with me, my free hand that was clawing at his chest is going to shoot up and try and shove it away from me. To brace for that.
Oh.
Get punished.
Sometimes you just can't win.
So, 25.
So as he hits Trishik, and you see him kind of crumple a bit, it's a good hit. He's already starting to slow down a bit, scrabbling across his golem. Still holding on to it, just kind of locks around its arm. You are paralyzed.
I got it.
But Raz, you are up, my good friend.
Trishik, could you let go of the golem? I'm gonna attempt the wall of force between Trishik and the golem.
There, he is holding on to the golem and he's paralyzed.
Forcing off the golem with the wall.
Wall of Force can't. It has to be a clean plane. Like if you know the magic to cast it, you would know that there is no way you're separating a paralyzed Trishik that is holding onto the golem from the golem with a Wall of Force.
Redirect it to the other side and separate that golem from Marshall and the rest of the party. Starting from where I can see, just up.
As they're battering at each other, pulling back for the second round, you see a brief shimmer between the two of you as this Wall of Force flashes for a moment and then disappears. As I imagine both Marshall and the golem swinging in and both just bonk against the Wall of Force that's now between them.
Got a turn.
One at a time. Trishik needs help.
Resume.
Resme is going to mobility up to Trishik.
It's just the best feat in the game, honestly.
It's a really good feat.
Want to get hit? Thank you. And is going to take out the salve of paralysis that she was just given.
Wow, this was perfect.
Don't have the 4 doses.
I think you have the spicy pepper anti-paralysis from the Ekajai, don't you?
Yeah.
It's lower level though.
Oh, that wasn't.
It counteracts.
Oh, right.
Yeah, it counteracts.
Like honestly,
This is a
spicy
greater.
pepper is like useless at this level.
Yeah, no,
Oh,
this is a
delicious.
greater salve of
It's not a salve of
anti-paralysis.
paralysis. It's just spicy pepper jelly. It's just so hot that it's functionally a salve of anti-paralysis.
Actually, I think Rur ate it all.
Probably.
Oh, good point.
You did own
probably
the
why you
banana.
died.
Yeah.
No, I died because I didn't own the Malachite dice at that time.
Oh, I see. Then you got in the North Foundry scam. All right. Anyway,
So yes, greater salve of anti-paralysis. Which will
Anti-paralysize me.
Hopefully.
that's
Yeah.
the idea.
It
That's what it says on the label.
That's just what it says on the label. It just functions as a 6th level remove paralysis spell.
Gotta find. It's not a bomb. It's
It's
An
a salve. That's why I
elixir?
walked up to him and just kind of.
yeah. I was looking for it in the core rulebook
Just
real
rub it
quick,
into
but I
the
can't
scales.
find it real fast. I can't find it fast. Like, is it magical? Is it alchemical?
Should be an alchemical.
It's alchemical.
Oh, it's probably in here. Yeah, it's a
Malcolm.
it's a potion. I was looking in alchemical.
Oh.
Just kidding. I have no idea where it is. I can't find it quickly. It's in here. Oh, here it is. No, it is. It is a potion. It's magical, not alchemical. So you have a greater salve of anti-paralysis. Mm-hmm. It's a 6th level. Remove paralysis, and it's also stone to flesh. And remove paralysis is a counteract check, and it's 12th. So, what's the counteract? I think it's the first time an item counteracting has come up.
Yeah, so you'd be using it's twice the spell level, I think, if you don't
So,
have a
right.
caster.
So
it'd be 12.
20,
so counteract check.
24, right? Because it's a level 12 item.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Because it's double its level,
No,
plus 24. That sounds right.
that's probably good enough to go
Yeah,
with for now.
go with it.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. We'll do the minutiae later. That sounds right enough to me.
Okay,
We'll go with plus 24.
go with it.
That sounds like it's generally in the ballpark where your rolls are. Sounds right. We'll do it.
You have to roll now.
Oh, I didn't know if it was a secret roll.
Ba, 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 ba.
No, I mean, you're going to know immediately. If you
Paralyzed.
work or
Yeah.
not. He's going to continue being paralyzed.
That's a 19.
19.
Yeah, he's probably not paralyzed anymore. So you walk up as this golem is just beating him and gently rub some
Yes.
salve, apply the salve to the lizard.
I'm about to salve all your problems.
And as the lizard he is still slowed, he's not paralyzed anymore. You also probably feel a warm tingly sensation.
It's not spicy, though.
It's just a regular warm tingly sensation. It's like icy hot.
Apply directly to the forehead.
That's
I know that.
that's head on.
No.
Marshall.
All right. So, question: because he's still kind of grappling, is the golem still flat-footed?
Until the
Absolutely
start
still
of my
grappling. He is fully still grappling him, and the golem's still flat-footed.
Well,
I was paralyzed. I couldn't let go.
I'm just making sure.
Yeah, you're good.
I'm just gonna go ahead and move up a little bit closer to him, and then first let's be responsible because they might hit me harder than I don't know. Gonna psych myself up.
That was the.
So the sound of
That was the
Marshall
sound of
psyching
psycho.
himself is a very loud motorcycle.
Foghorn.
Yep, apparently.
A foghorn.
temporary hit.
Probably did sound like a foghorn if it came in the mics at all.
Get my temporary hit points and gonna go ahead and take a bonk. It's bonking time. With a very big bonk because that is a
15.
15 plus 26.
That's gonna critically hit.
Yeah. Avatar.
Oh.
And I knock him prone.
You do not get prone. Now he's prone and grappled. Hit Esther Seek's unparalleled.
Oh!
The
So 22
sexy-
plus 17,
37,
37 times 2, that's
74.
74. Thank
So,
you.
wow,
I'm bad
okay.
at that.
I guess if it matters, that's also a fortitude save from me. I didn't think they could be slowed, but because I did crit,
Oh, that fort's like a billion. I mean,
it can fail.
it didn't, but it could have.
So as I'm kind of like going for this one, like, okay, here we go. I kind of like do the whole like overhead sweep where I knock it on the ground and just kind of go, wow.
So with this giant swing, you hit it hard enough for its physical construction to mean nothing to the sheer might of the Marshall mallet. And while Trishik is just kind of starting like a lizard unfreezing, starting to kind of move, you knock this thing and Trishik down over to the ground as it falls over, and he's still
That's where I
holding
wanna
on
be.
to it. But the one on the other side of the room is going to it's still just kind of swinging. It's gonna do swinging stuff.
Against the wall.
And is it yeah, it reaches out and it pounds against this wall of force, which has a crap ton of hardness. It's like
Oh,
20, I
hardness.
think.
Hardness 30.
30.
30.
Yeah, it's
It might break through eventually.
And it's immune to crits.
it seems to be having functionally no effect upon the wall of force as it just beats helplessly against the far side of this, clearly still engaged in trying to fight, but completely stuck behind the wall. After you see it swing a couple of times, it steps down off of its pedestal and starts walking a little bit, stepping off to the south, and then just towards the center of the room. It's just like walking into the wall. It's not swinging anymore. Its feet pushing and sliding against the stone of the floor as it just continues to walk forward. And you can see it's moving with enough force that although the steps look almost effortless, it is actually leaving a pair of gouges in the stone of the ground as it steps, which the wall of force renders near silent as the sound just barely transmits through it. So it's a really weird thing to watch. It looks like it's short-circuiting. It did like...
It's like a Roomba that got stuck.
I was thinking a dog that starts running on tile and its feet just start sliding.
Kind of like a Roomba that got
Yeah.
stuck. I mean, I can't argue with that.
That
Red
is
Sheen.
amazing.
So I'm still slowed, huh?
Yep.
Right.
So you've been slowed.
So I've been slowed.
Welcome to Slowest Dan.
It's my speed, and I want it now.
Not much to do, but slowly step forward, and
Dun 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 dun.
Bonk.
she's gonna punch it.
Okay.
Ooh, that's not good. You're gonna break your fist.
It's all right. I'm wearing
Slow
gauntlets.
motion kung fu move as your fist crunches in on itself.
That's a natural. That's appropriate.
Yeah, as you swing, it would absolutely
Makes
like
sense.
rage of the curse notwithstanding. As you kind of lose yourself at this, pushing through this hate and this slow, you punch it and you take a point of damage. It's
What?
you are
My ion
punching.
stone wobbles a little bit.
Trishik also still slowed.
Let me show you how you punch.
Is it a 1?
That's a
No, it's
5.
5.
Okay, it's close.
I might still hit, maybe.
He's
Let-
prone.
He's prone. I'm swinging at
Aren't
a.
you prone too? Ted?
Yeah, that's a 29.
29's not gonna hit. No. 29. You slowly just king, and slapping at it in slow motion,
the
just laying
second
on the
one is a
ground.
19.
Okay,
Much
that's
better.
probably gonna hit.
So that's
Good crit, possibly. This is not great.
39.
Does not, but
it's
we'll
flat-footed.
we'll hit 10 higher.
But you know what is nice about it being flat-footed is I get to roll this here handful of
You
d6s.
get the sneak attack on the weak part of the statue man, which exists apparently because you can hit it with precision damage.
I mean,
27
All right, now
damage.
a good chunk of that is gonna be negated by the fact that it is a stone golem, as you can tell by the foghorn blaring outside. But it, on the ground, is going to, now that you have released it and just started swinging as you're slowed, kind of rotate and pivot, almost just using an elbow, not getting up in a very odd, looking almost somewhat like a marionette. Absolutely provokes an attack by opportunity as it pushes itself up off the floor.
That's a 31.
So it's flat-footed.
It's hits. It's still footed when you swing. It's not up yet.
Stand down.
Wow.
Oh,
You were rolling money on damage today.
I'm making up for last episode apparently. So that's 12 and 9.
21,
21.
21,
plus 17. So that's
38.
38.
38. Bomb.
Math. And then it's
Oh, sorry.
Do you not have a greater striking? Did we not give you one?
resist a chunk of that.
We don't have one.
Oh, okay. Oh, +2s. You guys have +2s.
I had the plus 2
That's right. That's right. That's right.
striking. Or
All
whatever.
right. And as you batter at this thing, chunks are now starting to fall out of this first golem. It's taken a pretty significant amount of damage. And as it stands, it turns. And you know, magically inclined people, the golems are not intelligent creatures. They're almost working on programming. But the programming of this thing recognize giant man who is beating it with a hammer. Scary threat. And as it rises, it turns to walk towards the stairwell, seemingly completely oblivious and uncaring of the fact that Roshin and Trishik and Resme are all standing in the way. And as it walks almost just through you, what do you do?
Does it break the grab?
It's not grab,
my
it's
turn
turned
came
into...
along.
Oh,
You have to
okay.
maintain
Didn't
it, right?
re-grab it.
If
Okay.
I wasn't slowed, I would have grabbed it again. But
What do you, what do the three of you do?
What are
I'm
my
gonna
choices?
step back because I have no problem with it leaving me alone.
So,
I'm a
it's
fan.
like walking into you.
do I have choices, or is it just
You
what
have
I
many choices. That is the tabletop game.
grab onto it? And
Try and like
attempt to
stop it.
Yeah.
Lizard,
All right.
go.
Roshin's gonna block it. He's gonna block its
All
way.
right,
Like it's
you
gonna stop. She's gonna push
you
it
two
back.
make me fortitude saves.
I just remembered I had heroism up, so it's a little better. If I don't roll like trash. That's not quite trash.
I was about to say, aren't you still doing the inspired defense thing?
No, she didn't do it last time.
29.
Wall of Force is 3 actions.
May I have my die back? 31.
29 and 31, both of you, even together, as you try to stop this, it seems inexorable as it marches. And just walking forward into the wall, the two of you try to present. Just the sides of its dress as it comes forward, slam into Trishik and then slam into Roshin. Each of you actually are going to take 24 points of bludgeoning damage, and you're all going to be pushed back. That entire nugget is going to be pushed back. Resme all the way to the wall of force. Roshin and Trishik right in front of that, and this golem half in view of the stairs as it walks up next to Marshall before swinging with one fist, turning towards you.
See, this is why you don't force it. Just go with the flow.
You line
For-
fighter being a line fighter.
A natural one. So while you were not able to stop it, you have upset its balance enough that this swing just goes completely wide, missing Marshall entirely.
We
Raz,
presented a formidable obstacle
you got a little battered,
before
but
getting knocked back.
So, Raz is going to spend his whole turn doing composition. He's going to multicast compositions as a meta magic.
okay.
So I mentioned the Dragon Plague earlier, right? That happened during 3660 to 3672
Just like 8 feet up the stairs.
just talking about a book he actually pulled out and he's reading from now. As you go, everyone gets inspired defense and inspired courage.
I'm not gonna die with a lecture in my ears.
+1 to all the stuff. Do you have to make a performance check for that, or does that just take 3 actions?
Just takes 3 actions.
Resume. This is just.
Lecturing.
That's 8 feet on this, like 15 steps up, just telling you the story down the
Literally,
stairs.
like, teaching.
Just teaching while a golem is just slapping everybody.
So +1 to attacks, defense,
And saves.
damage, saves.
You have pretty much almost +1 everything at this point.
Sheeny, Allegro, and she'll cast haste on you.
Oh, that's
So make me a counteract check.
yeah.
Because haste on a slowed person attempts to counteract the slow.
I was tense enough.
Life is hard.
9,
It's a 5. I thought.
5.
Yeah, it was a 5.
Okay, that's gonna be a 28.
The 28, as you cast this, your magic takes hold, but it can't really come into effect. The power of the enchantment that's come out of this golem is too strong.
Ooh, does that count?
No,
No,
not the
okay.
counteract checks. The +1 wouldn't change it anyway. It's not quite enough, and your magic doesn't supersede the golems.
Okay.
There's seemingly some of the anti-magic of its own essence, allowing it to rebuff this attempt to functionally dispel it, and leaving you with 1 action left.
I will shield up.
Yeah. Bink. Marshall.
I'm gonna trap it. So athletics check if I could.
Athletics against its terrible, terrible reflex DC. Terrible,
So
terrible reflex
that's
DC.
going to be 33.
That is definitely going to succeed. And that golem is going to crash back down to the
And then
ground.
as like before, overhead sweep, up, bonk, -5.
Yep, and this thing is already starting to crumble and lose chunks.
That's a 28, unfortunately. No, wait, +1, 29.
29 still not going to do it.
Darn. That's okay. With my last action, go for broke.
Do it again. Yeah.
Ah,
Nah, that's not gonna do anything.
He's just swinging away at it. The one on the other side
Serious deja vu from the fight we had like a day earlier.
in Wall of Force jail is still just walking, its feet grinding into stone of the floor. But as it walks, no, it's not walking south. It's walking like directly into the Wall of Force. It's not going anywhere.
okay.
It's like walking
It's
in
literally
place.
like
Its feet digging the stone. You can again barely just hear, even with the size of this thing, the thunk and the thunk of the sound of this actual fight that's happening on your side of the wall. But you can see it's standing almost upright, and its shoulders and like its forehead and the bridge of its nose, or as soon as you press into the Wall of Force, are starting to radiate a little bit of light. They're starting to glow a bit red, almost like they were getting hot. As it continues to walk
Interesting.
and push into this thing.
It's giving itself a friction burn.
Rashin,
Right.
it's doing its best.
Resme, don't you have any ice magic in that little sleeve of yours?
Magic and this thing don't seem to get along that well.
Oh, give it a try. And Roshin is going to, well, her morning star is all the way over there, so she's
Yeah, it's
gonna,
in the it's not like on the plinth.
yeah, so she's gonna pull flick and two-hand it and just try to bash down it. Can get a bonus for two-handing it, but it looks cool.
It makes me feel good.
Makes
on
me
the
feel better.
insides.
Hey, I rolled up a 10. So
it.
that's gonna be, let's see, that plus heroism goes to 25, plus that is a
Plus those.
38, 39.
39 will hit. I can hear the tide turning. The machine gun fist has stopped. They're running out of gas.
Should I bother to roll the fire?
They cannot take the fire damage.
Alright, I didn't think so. Alright, that's
You
pretty
rolled
decent.
really good on that.
See, 11 plus 19 plus minor curse level is 25.
Plus,
26.
And again, you feel like it's fairly resilient to that. Your damage is like half of what it would be.
Plus two stats.
So, one action left. Man of the slow.
No, I had to.
Oh, you had
the
to draw
weapon and
flick.
then
You had
whack
to get
it.
flick out so you can continue the paddling. Trishik.
Well, I believe in the church of standing up and not rolling bad. So I'm gonna stand up as my
You're
first
not
action.
prone.
I was.
You weren't like mechanically
Okay.
prone. You were just like attached to the thing as it fell over. I
Gotcha.
imagine as part of your slaps, you kind of scrambled to your
I,
feet.
I
You weren't
took
like
the I'm prone penalties on my last turn.
I mean, I at least knocked me
no,
down.
you weren't like prone. No, I flavored too hard.
Gotcha. Well,
little too
then
spicy.
I
A
will.
little too spicy on the flavor.
I'll just ravage down into it, mounting up on its chest and just swing it away.
Slow motion claw bang.
Mhm.
Evil cat.
Pretty much.
Oh my god!
I can see it from here.
Kashyyyk likes the
Nat
lecture.
20. Good sir. Just roll 20s.
Just you should roll 20s for him.
So,
Give me that
for
die.
the
You're
sake-
banned from that die.
for the sake of
That's mine now.
curiosity, the second attack.
Nat 20.
How does he
No.
do that?
No, it can't.
It legitimately dropped and rolled and then slid.
For the sake of curiosity, buy these dice. They're fantastic. You see that?
Praise Norse
You
Foundry.
see that right there? Praise Norse Foundry. Two nat 20s in a row.
Are we gonna
If
discount
this
all
was
the-
our first edition
Well, I know what
homebrew
I'm buying.
stuff, this would have been max damage, no roll. Confirming a 20 with the 20. Let me just roll max damage
I
real
don't
quick.
understand.
God, I'm not that magical, but
The Norse Foundry D6 rolled the highest.
it did. It did. The Malachite D6 rolled a 5. 9, 10, 17, 54.
Whoa.
And then number
And
2.
the second critical hit from the flow boy.
Are you adding the +1?
Way to take the saltwater test. You're gonna float that die. It's pretty heavy.
So,
it's gonna take a lot of
Plus 1
salt.
damage too.
Oh, okay. So that would have been 56. And then 10, 21, 29, 30, 60.
Now, what do you do to this thing? It's obviously that. But
Exactly what I said I did. I hop up, mount the chest, and instead of a fighter stance where you like hammer fist down, I'm ripping into its chest, tearing
Wow.
apart the main mechanics of what this thing's working off of.
and it doesn't seem to have any mechanics. Like if you reach in and just like claws somehow pierce through, beat it, and physically rip
cracks.
chunks of rock out of this thing. Yeah, the cracks. There's nothing inside. There's nothing making this work. It's just wrought stone that you are ripping like it's frickin' Play-Doh
In slow motion.
in slow motion.
He hit the floor. You know, next thing you know,
Golem
slow.
is gonna stop. As it moves by itself, pivoting again. Its arm just kind of collapses, freezing in the angle it was before detaching off its torso entirely from the damage and just falling flat on the floor as this golem stops moving. And it was his turn, so that means it's Raz's turn. Maximum efficiency.
Yeah.
I do legitimately want to do the saltwater test with that dice.
You're
but
gonna
I
use so
don't
much.
know
It's
if
not
it
gonna be
would
salt
float.
water.
It'll
It's just
lay-
gonna
it's
be
not gonna
salt.
We'll just get Jello. Just float it
The
in.
Jello float. Don't put
don't
the
think that's gonna
fancy
work.
dye in the water. Raz.
Oh, I can't dismiss the wall. The wall is there forever. So dismiss. So
We could just leave.
we could just leave.
You're stuck in stupid jail.
I think it'd chase us if we did.
Because how long does it last?
Can it even get through that door?
How big is that door?
Or it's like it's a double wide. It's a massive framed arch door. Like the door
yeah, get
itself,
through it.
it's not intricate, but it's thick. He could definitely fit through the door.
Yeah, we should probably take care of that. Well, anyways, to continue my lecture, contrary to the name, the Dragon Plague, it was actually a period of time that had intense dragon attacks all across northern Taldar. It's the same thing.
Oh, here's an idea, Resme. Why don't you go and like make a hole that it would fall into? We could lead it into it, it'd fall into it, and then you could just kind of bury it. And I'm sure we could just leave it alone that way.
Resume.
Where do you come up with this stuff?
I don't
Digging a
know.
hole is
But I can tell you where she comes up with hero points. And it's Jayazo.
Ooh.
Oracles need to be heroes. Taketh, my
Why,
good friend.
thank you.
So now, how long does wall last, Rez?
And as this thing is still walking into the wall, you can see its shoulders, and again, it's more on the bridge of its nose. This heat seems to be spreading. It's starting to glow a little whiter at the tips, and the red is starting to spread. And you see it. The wall is invisible, but in front of the golem, it's not wholly. It's almost starting to warp where the golem is pressing into it. It's looking almost like plastic wrap that this golem is pressing its face and its shoulders into, and the wall of magical force is starting to flex and bend around it.
Technically, it lasts about a minute, but
it looks like it's getting ready to do something.
Are they looking like they're loosening up now that the thing is gone, or does it still look like?
Definitely still very slowed.
Okay. She's going to try to counteract the magic one more time on Roisin to see if she can't break her out of the grips of it.
Okay.
Let our powers combine.
Counteracto.
That's better. It's an 8. It's gonna be 8 is that plus that
30?
equals 31. It's like plus 1.
31?
Yep.
31 is going to counteract it. That haste is going to functionally remove the slow, restoring near equilibrium to Roisin
Oh, good.
as these two
Oh, my
magical
ears are popping.
effects burst each other, almost the fizzle, and you return to normalcy.
Oh, nicely done.
Oh, Roisin, do try to get a bit more aggressive with this one. It looks like it's getting... Oh, it's going to get through that wall very quickly. Ooh! And she'll throw a shield, and she'll back the heck away from it. Up with Raz.
Up the stairs we go, lads. Whoopsies. Marshall. They're going to switch to Arcan Force today, but they had a massive update, and they can't use it.
Well, as far as I know, I can't really do much at the moment, so I'm gonna do something I never really do and just hold.
Oh, wow.
Because I can't get through the wall of force.
Just going to wait. Is this-
Nani?
So,
I just kind of grip my hammer and I'm like,
so...
That's what you're supposed to say. For what?
with your new training, as you're raging here, you normally would not be able to restrain yourself like this, but you've kind of practiced. You've sort of focused now.
it's a focus trait.
You can. A moment of calm. I know. It's written. You can't do this. In a moment of calm, focus yourself and just wait. Wait for an opening. And as Golem, as it continues walking into this, you can see it start heating up, and you can actually see what looks like smoke starting to rise from where it's impacting. You can see it start to push forward. This wall distorting and warping like a vacuum seal around this golem as more of its body walks into it, until with a peal of thunder, almost like glass, you see this thing crack and shatter outwards. The golem taking one step forward towards Marshall,
You know what that
who I
triggers?
assume probably wants to go now.
I'm actually going to react by whoop, trip.
Well, you can have your turn now, sir.
I'm a trip.
It walked
It has-
into his range, triggering this.
Yeah, triggering, going, failing, falling, standing up school.
Let's see, 24 plus 16.
Yeah, he's gonna fall
40.
over.
40. So
That critically succeeds.
Hey,
You
D6.
do a
He takes D6,
damage.
but
I
I
do
mean,
a
he's
single
resistant.
D-
he's not gonna
He's
take it
resistant.
because he has
wants to
12
roll it,
physical
though.
resistance. But
Oh,
you
okay.
can roll it. He's not gonna take any of it.
It's a 0.
It's a 3.
3 disrespect damage that he's going to absorb.
The floor took 3 damage.
The floor takes 3
the floor
damage.
took 3 damage. So I
Because this thing punches through with so much momentum, it almost stumbles, and you just knock it down, and it crashes into the ground, almost like cratering a bit in the stone.
I've been working on
I
the
feel like Marshall
rail.
just says bonk.
Audibly just says bonk and starts wagging.
Oh, that's depressing. Like, it's great on trips, but bad on attacks, apparently. Alright, well. Go for broke, right?
One more.
One more. Much better. That's still only going to be
Minus 10.
minus 10, so that's going to be only 30.
30 hits.
Oh,
It's
He's flat-footed.
It's flat-footed.
Flat-footed. It's on the ground.
It's the good times.
Jeez.
That's a 12 minimum on every attack so far, which is fantastic.
This is great. So 15 plus 17, so that's 20. Oh, plus 1, so 23.
23. Do you not have greater striking? I'm positive.
Nope.
you
Or no,
have
I'm sorry.
greater
I
striking.
think
have
we
plus
bought plus
twos.
2 potency.
I'm
So that was
30.
what it was. Plus 2 is
Sorry,
not greater
33.
striking. 33.
I did my math wrong.
I was like, that's way too low. All right.
No, 33.
So you get the inaugural slam into this thing, as this one hasn't taken any actual damage yet. Roshin now left with the prone statue laying on the ground, face down.
A fully armed and operational Roshin.
Well, I'm not going to turn down a gift.
And not slow.
And not slow. She's just gonna step up and just start wailing on this thing.
Everyone just gathers around and starts kicking the crap out of the statue while it's lying on the ground.
Nerd.
Give me your lunch money, loser.
That's a 31 on the first hit.
31 will hit him.
And the second attack, let's roll it now. It's only 2 higher, -5, so that's
Not gonna hit.
Not gonna hit.
It's like back in the academy.
Oh, I should have took the die.
It's just like middle school.
Or middle school.
It's,
Phil's character, they told me.
30.
30?
That's 20. I'm sorry, 20.
Alrighty. It's gonna be pretty well reduced, but some of it will go through. Trishik.
You want to see me do it again?
Do it.
No, you can't.
Do it.
This other frickin' golem pushed you into free melee range, so you don't have to move.
You want to see me do it again?
They're not smart. They just do stuff.
How?
You want to see me?
Doing it. What that hurt?
You have to roll the die. You don't just pick a side. You have
wanna
to roll.
see-
It's a dice tower. It
Do it
does it
again.
for you. It's a dice tower.
So I'm buying all the Malachite.
You can't do that.
Wow.
I'll take that for my second attack.
No,
sure.
you roll your second attack.
You have to roll
You
it.
put that in the
Yeah.
tower, you get a frickin' 20.
There's a 1 for you.
Are you
Okay.
It doesn't balance out the RNG at all.
Not even remotely.
2028 or 2020 2018 1.
But it can roll the other side of the die, and you have a third attack if you want to go nuts.
No, I don't. I'm slowed.
Oh, you're still slowed. Right, you're still slowed.
But
But,
he
you
said the first
critically hit him with the first swing. You have stone rending claws now.
Clearly.
6, 12, 15.
Rashik the
23.
Breaker. 23?
So 46.
Oh, I was like, that can't be a
24,
total.
48.
48. That's exactly how much your last crit was.
That's one.
That was with the +1. It was 23 plus 1, 24,
Okay.
That was
48.
exactly the same as your last crit. Because its resistance is 12, and I was like, oh, that's easy. It's literally a multiple. It's 36 damage. So that was definitely the same number.
Fortitude save. He can roll a 1.
You can roll a 1. 1 is on the die. No, he's good. What's the DC? Like 26?
It's actually
It should be.
32.
It's your- Yeah,
It's
should
your
be
class DC. Raz.
Well, magic is useless here. So the actual dragon plague was caused by a failed use of a relic called the Dragon Stone.
God, let's
I
just
believe it
kill this
was.
thing so it'll stop.
Oh,
By the power of I am a caster fighting golems, Resme, who is also a caster fighting golems.
She's doing great.
all right, Trishik. Let's see if we can break you out of this too.
I am relatively fine.
Allegro.
Counteract.
Aw.
Yeah,
Roll the
that's not gonna
Malachite.
happen.
Yeah, just roll the Malachite here.
That's not how this works.
No,
You
just
get
do it.
one action. You have one action left.
Shield.
Bonk. So this statue on the ground, as you try to force out again, the fact that this thing is so resilient to magic, that golems have such intrinsic anti-magical properties, really rebuffing your attempts to repair the party. It slams both forearms into the ground to right itself, but as it hits, another wave of energy pulses out from this thing, and I need
Fort saves.
fort saves from Roshin and Marshall. You two are far enough away.
Not 20.
You stole my luck.
You didn't roll the Malachite.
I have this hero point here though, because I don't feel
Here.
like being slowed too.
Here.
You would be
take the
slowed
free
too. You're not.
success.
You're slowed 0. Oh, would you roll? What do you roll?
I rolled a natural 1.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, it'd probably re-roll
It'd
that.
probably be twice. Hey,
Natural
that's
20. What the heck?
Oh my God.
You can't just keep that. You know, give me that. Let me see it.
Yeah, I didn't roll.
Give me. This is mine now. I'm confiscating
It
this.
won't stop.
It's confiscated.
It's from me. It's not the
Then the
dice.
golem is gonna push itself up.
Okay, it was the Malachite.
Push itself up. Attack of opportunity, of course, as you continue just pounding on it.
What is that? 8 plus 26.
That's
so
a 6.
Oh, that's a 6. Oh,
Still,
that's still
32. It still hits.
It's enough.
Or, I'm sorry, 33.
He still hits. He's flat-footed while he's getting up. I mean, that wouldn't matter. He hits him anyway. Bonk.
It's not terrible. So
I think
26.
I think that the Malachite rolled 8 d20s.
It's because of my lucky shirt.
Not all of them were on attack rolls, but
And then as it stands,
there's 8 nat 20s.
it is going to turn. I think it again would see Marshall as the largest threat here. It stands riding itself and then just pivoting one of those fists straight up.
Do I still have the effect of blur on?
You do from
Yep, concealment.
And then repulsion oil.
And then
Well, that's after the hit, yeah. So it passes concealment.
Okay.
He's gonna bonk you with the Malachite dice.
What is this treachery?
Stupid
It's gonna
idiot.
get a 3, it's fine.
You got a 14. Thank you very much. So
He's trying to.
that's gonna be a
out.
40. 40 even.
Not a
Does
crit.
not crit.
Does not crit anymore. Yep. And then repulsion gel. Then it has a fortitude save. Which gets a 5, which does
DC
still
29.
pass. Yeah. Just that you see it rebuff a bit. It hits and the whole of the thing, like it slides back a couple feet as it pounds you. But it's not enough to move it a meaningful distance. It is gonna bonk you for, ooh, we got an almost max damage in the house. 37 points of bludgeoning damage.
Give me 30.
I mean 30. But then it's your turn, good sir. And you can probably hit it a lot harder than that.
Oh, yeah. I take the hit. I'm like, it kind of literally, I feel like it just slapped me in the jaw. I'm like, ha!
I guess
Cute.
30 is almost
yeah.
insignificant damage to you at this point.
So psych up, because that 10 hit points sometimes matters, and then just gonna actually trip him like last time. Because it seems to be very.
Who said you could get up? It's not even bad action economy because you get this attack back when it stands up.
It's a 27.
Help, he is falling down.
Wow.
Yeah, they're terrible. And then swing.
Wait, 27?
Yeah,
See that?
Yeah, I mean, that's not...
Wow.
yeah, that's bad. I rolled a 2.
No. Math. No, he has the elite template. No, the 27 does not succeed.
Oh, does not succeed.
Does not succeed. You don't knock him down that time.
Okay, I'm just gonna try and trip him again. So -5, right?
-5, yes.
Okay, so
My brain has been turned off by the
20.
dice. The dice have
That's a
determined
one.
that my thoughts don't matter.
That did nothing. So
Wait, you rolled a what?
I rolled
A 1.
So
You rolled a 1, you fall down.
So
Where you drop
question.
your weapon.
Well, yeah, you...
Well, it's not a trip weapon. You would have to trip him with your
Oh.
hand, so you do
Yeah.
fall down.
Oh, you actually can't be tripping him, right? We forgot about that. You don't have a halberd at. But as you try to fish at him here,
Oh,
I was
geese arm.
thinking he had the halberd or the geese arm
no,
or whatever.
You need a geese arm to trip.
As you swing at this, as it stands up, this one seeming to still have a good deal of fortitude. It's seemingly inexorable force actually is going to knock you to the ground. And we'll just do it going forward. I'm not going to retcon anything. You cannot trip with a two-handed mallet in your hand. You need a free hand or you need a weapon with a trip trait.
I can shove. No.
You can shove him. Yeah, roll armor is shove, not trip.
Right.
But you're on the ground.
Yeah.
You have one
And
action
the
left.
advantage of using a weapon with trip
Oh, that
is
was
you
my 3rd action.
No, you try.
Trip. Oh, you psyched. I didn't hear you. I think I missed
So
that.
I'm
So-
Yeah.
For future reference, are like when you do a trip
So that
or
was my bad,
shove,
I guess.
are they
No, that's good.
are they
That's-
technically attack rolls?
Yes.
They are attacks, yes.
So
They
yeah,
would get the
they've got
plus
the
1
attack
from your
trait.
inspired courage,
Yeah, so you get the
absolutely.
+1 for future reference.
But yeah, with a two-handed weapon, you can't do maneuvers that you
Yeah,
don't have
yeah,
as a
yeah.
trait because you need a free hand for those. That's why he's got to drop his shield to do them usually
Yeah.
because you have a sword and shield in your hand. But it is your turn though, Rishin.
It is my turn.
Drop your shield and try and trip him.
I mean, he hasn't tried to actually swing at me yet, so I mean, I guess let's do
He's
that.
fighting the large thing that seems to be more of a concern to him.
That's fair. That's fair.
I'm the distraction. That's my job.
You
right?
are doing a great job.
You
of
are not the distraction. You're the person who's pumping damage on this thing.
You are everyone else is also here. This is
Yeah.
kind of like
I'm helping.
Martial obliterate. Well, I mean, Trishik obviously is doing
It
a
just
crap
makes
ton
up
of
for my
damage.
crappy performance from last
The
episode.
dice are doing the damage.
I help.
This die is doing the damage, and it's mine now.
You're gonna roll poorly with that dice.
So
it's me that rolls good. It's not the dice.
Roshi,
You don't roll
So
good, you
Roshin's
roll
gonna
well.
throw that shield down
I roll
and
good.
reach in with his hand and with an arm and just try to yank this this stone foot wide to make it fall.
We're just big on tripping, nigga. We had fun bullying it while it was
There it
laying on the
is.
ground.
There's a good one.
I knew I could roll above a decent. Yeah. All right. So I'm an expert in athletics this level, so that's gonna be 21 plus that's a
Machine
40.
gun fist is back.
Yes!
That's the sound of all of his limbs hitting the ground in succession as he falls over. He is prone. Whee!
Perfect. So prone, and then let's see. Grabs versus fortitude. He's not gonna care about that. just to reverse the flick and just try to stab it down into him now that he's on the floor. For a 2 on the die, I think this is gonna kind of
Probably gonna
ping
miss.
off of him. Yeah.
You're not slow anymore.
I'm
Another
not
action.
slow.
The third action.
I could take a -10, but I don't know if that's gonna be that useful.
Dude, you can always roll 20.
Not anymore.
You almost rolled 20.
That's a 15.
I have
That's
the
pretty
power
good.
now.
What is that? That's a
So
5.
that's functionally a 5, yeah.
Yeah, so 5. So let's see, 28, 30, 31.
Because it's prone. So
And it's
yeah.
pro.
It's prone.
I hit
31
him with a
hits it.
5.
That actually hits it.
Money.
Value.
Like I told you, never doubt yourself.
Believe.
Inspired.
7, 10, 16.
That's going to do almost nothing
Ping.
against
ping,
this thing.
ping.
But the point is you're hitting it. You're making an impression technically.
But it did do something.
But it did 4 damage to Sheik.
At least 2 better than me.
No.
12. That hits.
I have your power, Tashik.
Are you sure about that?
I have your green lizard man die.
So,
It is mine
yeah,
now.
that's a 39.
39 hits.
He's flat-footed, so I'm going to unleash the.
Is that with the +1?
Yeah.
Okay. Because it is 1 off rating.
Aw, he had to roll a bunch of ones eventually.
11, 12,
It's half 30.
Because I took his power.
14, 16, 24.
That's not how this works. That's
Obviously is.
not how any of this works.
And
Clearly
then
how it works.
Next, the purple dice.
Eh.
I don't have any hero points.
You sound so sad.
I'm so used to being able to throw them out whenever I need them.
It's because I took your power.
That doesn't affect my hero.
I mean, not
Doesn't it?
demonstrably.
22, 27.
That's not going to do it. And as you're still slowed, that's going to bring us to Rez. I like the variance we can have between like the incredibly intense pitch dramatic gug fights and then a bunch of idiots standing around a stone golem memeing about
Kicking it.
Derps D20. Like, there's a wide divide of experiences
our
in the Two
party-
Perception show.
Our party is either fighting desperately for our lives or winning
Bullying
so
the heck out of
hard
something.
that like doesn't even matter.
This is a low, to be fair. This is a low. So like if you had problems here, I'd be concerned for your future. But Rez, how was your lecture going?
So the failed use of the relic caused the Taldean metallic dragons to go into a rage. You would
Wait,
think
what relic?
the failed use of the relic. Dragon
By
orb.
the Taldean.
Oh,
Dignity
dragon.
part.
That a dragon orb?
Yeah, it failed use. So you would think the chromatic dragons would have been the ones that went on a rampage, but it was actually the metallic dragons, and same thing is happening.
The hero point counter is wrong. I should have 0.
What is the dragon orb?
Oh, it's a relic.
Have you just been looking this up, or did you just like read this out
I
of
read
place?
this.
I
That
100%
is-
believe everything he's saying is true.
I'm pretty sure that's actually a thing in first
It's-
edition.
It
it
just
is-
really hurts to listen to.
It is a very real thing.
Pretty sure I'm
The
taking
dragon
mental
plague is a
damage.
very real
I know the dragon plague was. I knew there was a thing called that in
Dragons can
Kaldor.
have orbs. Why shouldn't dragons be able to have orbs?
But like, what does the
Lizards can
dragon
have
orb
orbs.
do? Does it just summon a storm of dragons? Like,
No, it's like
Probably for controlling
It's a
dragons.
nice decorative orb. A dragon puts.
oh, it's like the remote control for your
Yeah.
your dragon drone. Fair
it's
enough.
It's your drone dragon.
Are
Your
we
dragon
really
drone.
having
How's this fight, Raz? You having a good time? You feel like you feel like
I got to do the thing I'm
shape of a
prepared
bowling
for.
ball.
I'm glad you're enjoying your experience.
That's what
Resume.
I'm having a great time.
All right,
I've got hit.
Resme is so bored. She's gonna do something to make this more interesting.
Shoot ice at the golem.
Engorge jam, and point her staff at Roisin and cast enlarge.
Where? I guess you could straddle the pedestal.
I guess I'd
They
better.
were large and they were on the pedestal.
I guess I'd better. Huh?
So you're gonna kind of get squished in there. Like Roshin's gonna become a big now, but if she
Wait, what?
suddenly grows to match Marshall and the golem size,
As I see
is
this, I'm like, say not so easy, is it?
this titanic battle now happening within the chamber.
What's this? I mean, I suppose this works. So what does that do for me?
So it's
You get
fourth
reach.
level.
I think you make my AC
You're
worse,
clumsy
right?
one. You're clumsy one. You get reach. I think that's pretty much the things that
I
it
get a
does.
+2 status bonus to melee damage.
Ooh.
Oh, it's a 4th
It's a
level.
4th level.
Oh, you can't cast 4th level on
You
me.
can't huge.
Because that's huge.
Then I'll stick to 2. That's fine.
So
Nice
yeah,
of you
you
to
get a
not crush
+2
me
status
and
bonus to
steal.
damage.
Yeah.
You're clumsy one, and you have reach. Also, you're larg. This map is absurd looking right now. This is a ridiculous map.
It's the fight of the Titans.
Do you have
This
The
looks
smallest
awesome
token.
now.
is that
the
2
most
action or
damage.
3 action in second? 2, you got 1 left. Is it shield?
Oh, I'm gonna shield, but she's
Okay.
gonna go. Go, Roshin, go! Now you're big like everyone else.
So this golem
Oh, it's so awkward.
is gonna stand up.
Can I still?
Yep.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, it's -1, but it kind of. Or -2,
Wait.
I'm sorry.
Why?
Because he's prone.
Because I'm prone.
Oh yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
really,
You.
it's -1.
Oh wait, no, it's not prone. You're prone. You failed. You knocked it prone. It's also prone. You still only it's at a -2. Yes. My brain is like disengaged from the status
That's
of this
going to do
fight. because
absolutely nothing.
Become an
I'm
idiot.
not using this die.
Actual clown fiesta.
zero.
But as it stands up, Marshall now on the ground, it seems to have redirected its attention as the literal largest threat to the giant gleaming paladin in the corner. And it is going to swing a fist towards Roshin.
Hey, I just dropped my shield and I'm clumsy 1 all of a sudden.
Oh, would you look at that? It's
He's somehow got lower than mine.
You still have a +1.
going to be a 41 to hit.
41 to
Not
hit
a
will
crit.
not critical me.
Not crits, what we like to see here. You're not slowed anymore. He's going to bonk you for 30 points of bludgeoning damage.
Whap.
27.
How's that
bludgeoning
Malachi
damage.
treating you?
Pretty good. Pretty much 15's down the board. And it's going to swing again. Oh, you can have this back. This dice, I hate it. Marshall.
I told you it's the roller, not the dice.
I'm gonna get back up.
The will fight.
Actually, I can't even pick my shield up because it's tiny now.
Yeah, I didn't go with you. It wasn't on me when you got it large.
As I'm getting myself back up, I'm like,
Resme!
as I get myself back up, I just look at Rashid jokingly. I'm like, I guess I could actually take you out on a town after this time, huh?
Goodness gracious, I feel like I'm wearing a corset.
Look, the fight was getting
19.
boring.
On the die. Bomb.
I'm sure. Well, I don't know. He's not flat-footed.
He's not
He got up. What you got?
19 plus 26.
Yeah,
Is
crits.
+1.
going to bump.
That's gonna
Plus
crit.
one,
That's
sorry.
gonna crit. Yeah, his AC is not great.
And he's going to be pro.
Right. It's
Back how he goes.
Max damage. So let's see. 24 plus. Oh, I'm sorry. 25 is +1. Plus 17. Is
42.
42.
42.
84.
84 damage.
84 points of freaking damage.
Hey,
Wham!
you're supposed to roll the dice.
I did.
Hey, it's only 72.
As you bring this rectangle or facsimile of it down into the golem, it smashes through this thing's torso, like shattering and sending shards flying. It's not destroyed yet, but that was real close to doing it.
I still
Like
have
in
one
one go.
And
Do
it's
it.
prone.
Do it. You won't.
Yeah.
See, mine's
That
5,
might.
so that's so okay. 4 plus 20.
No, 29.
30.
30.
30.
And it's prone.
30.
I'm sorry. So,
Because of the lecture.
so Marshall stats.
Stupid dragon orb.
That was your hit, Raz.
You'll want to end it faster so he stops.
Everyone's inspired to end the fight, so Raz will shut up. Like,
So that's 30 altogether.
what do you do to it?
Yeah.
So as well, the first strike I kind of like knocked a hole in his chest, knocked it down, and I'm just like, bye. Just slam full weight into it, make sure I just really grind it into the ground.
And it's like the statue doesn't really seem to have magic. Your
I
mallet
literally
powders through its
Like your
torso.
typical anime slam, dust cloud.
It would. I mean, you're smashing through a stone statue. There would be an eruption
Plus,
of dust.
It's rectangle, so that thing is going.
This thing's arms and legs would just pop off, scattering across the floor, tumbling in different directions as the head of this dwarven statue, hooded, allows it to kind of roll along its backside, kind of back and forth a bit on the sides of this hooded sculpture.
And then I just pull my hammer back, put my arm around Giant Roshi, and that's how we do it. As we slowly both shrink down.
Well, you shrink down. She actually doesn't.
Play with me.
You shrink down. Roshin is still humongous.
Oh, well done, everyone. Well
I'm
done.
glad the whole place knows we're here now. A very effective notification system.
Yeah,
Well-
oh, what does that say up there? Profess the faith.
In dwarven.
And it says
Oh,
Profess
never
the
mind.
Fate in Dwarven.
I read it out. I read it out.
I read it out loud exactly in Dwarven.
Oh, you know, we probably could have just said that we were like worshippers of this god, and they probably wouldn't have attacked us.
Probably.
You say
But
that.
someone drew first blood.
Well, duh.
I like dice. Dice are fun. You guys like dice? You want to know a really interesting I found in the Pathfinder bestiary.
Oh, okay.
Adamantine's really useful.
What
It
is
says here
religion?
that golems of all kinds are actually uncommon creatures.
Really?
Stone golems are uncommon. Alchemical golems are uncommon. Even clay golems are actually uncommon.
Really?
Uh-huh.
Huh.
They're all uncommon.
Is that a fact?
Is
Yeah,
that
so
like
in
a
your
thing?
average adventure, I would imagine you would probably encounter less than one, maybe one encounter of some kind of golem,
We're
maybe,
up to
because they're
6?
pretty rare.
6 or 7?
Galarian.
I think we fought fewer giants than golems.
Boppity boopity.
Maybe. Let's see. So your
Like
first
total
golem, your first golem was the clay golem
Yeah.
in the Cinderclaw
In the
Fortress.
Cinderclaw Fortress.
Then you fought no golems.
There was an
and
There was
no
a
Kintargo.
fire golem thing
Nah.
in the Chiruka.
There was a massive
Yes, there
golem.
was in
There
the
was a-
Chiruka.
Yeah, I think it
in
was
the
an
jungle.
animated statue. I don't
That
think
was an
it
animated
was a golem.
statue.
Okay.
Yeah, there was.
Technically
I'm
different.
telling you, there was also one in the fortress. I'd be willing
Yeah,
to bet
it was
money.
in the front of the fortress. This is what I'm talking about. There's
Yeah.
the clay golem.
Clay golem, yeah.
And then you fought, I think the next one was a stone golem
Yep, in the warehouse.
And then there was like 94 alchemical golems
Yeah, I was about to say so many.
throughout the Kintargo arc. And 2 more stone golems. Golems are neat.
Yeah.
like-
So,
Golems.
you know what we have time for?
What?
3 minutes of AMA. We haven't done that in a minute.
Well, knowing that you have certainly raised the alarm here, notably Trishik is still slow.
Da, 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 da,
But that and any healing that you want to take care of may be wise to do quickly because it's almost inconceivable that this would not have been heard from deeper within the hidden forge.
I'll throw some alchemical potions out.
But the healing, whatever you can do briefly, and perhaps an attempt to return Trishik back to speed, would have to be done both quickly. And we'll handle next week. As we ready now with the hidden forge, it's probably indeed very on alert. It's very aware that we're all here.
I may or may not have made a crater in the floor. Sorry.
It'll be fine. It's not your forge. It
knock
doesn't
on
Oops,
matter.
the daisy.
We're here.
So, we're going to end our adventures for this week right here. So next week, let me make sure I'm not stupid. What day is it? It is the 15th. So next week,
Is the 22nd.
we are going to have our regularly scheduled Age of Ashes show on Saturday. But 2 weeks from now is PaizoCon. And since obviously Friday and Saturday through the main weekend days are when they're going to be doing a lot of their various reveals and announcements and cool PaizoCon stuff, we aren't going to be live for the PaizoCon show then. I think it would be the 29th
Yeah.
is the next Saturday. We won't be here, but you will find some really cool Paizo programming right here on this channel normally. We will, however, be here on the Monday of PaizoCon for a one-shot adventure. Monday, what was it, 5 to 9 our time? So 2 to
Yep.
6 Pacific, 5 to 9 Eastern. If you haven't seen the Two Perception one-shot experience before,
It is unreal.
where we just roll a gaggle of complete morons and go on a stupid adventure.
It's the best.
It's not goblins, but
It might as well be.
It's gonna be. I know the cast. I think Nick knows the classes. He's actually going to be running it. Rashin's gonna put this one together. I get to play a character.
Yeah.
I get to do stuff. I'm gonna be a champion. It's gonna be neat. I like doing things. But we're gonna have a first level idiot fiesta on the Monday. I think near the almost to close out PaizoCon. You should definitely come hang out for that because boy, when we have characters that we don't have to care about the longevity of or the viability or if they die immediately,
It's going to be amazing.
we get oh boy, you get
I
to
mean,
just go
You're
put
fighting a
bananas
level
on
5
one
creature for
shots.
the boss. It'll be fine. You'll be
You're
good.
you're going
be
to see
good.
a witch.
I'll put it this way.
That's how serious this is.
I-
We got witches, we got champions. Marshall's playing a healer. Oh man,
It's gonna be
We're gonna have a
glorious.
good time.
it's gonna be a good time.
We're gonna have a good
But
time.
for now, that is going to be it for us today. Paizo, of course, thanks for having us. Thanks for sponsoring our adventures and this adventure path we have here with the very a glimpse at some very uncommon golems that we've been afforded. We're very lucky, actually.
You know
They're
what?
uncommon, and we've gotten to see so many of
Golems?
them
Imagine
so
trying to
far.
find golems out in the wild.
I know.
Golems are about as uncommon as carpenters
Wait.
and cobbler.
Oh.
No,
Actually, there's
they're
more
way more.
golems
There's
than-
because they're made of stone. Stone.
Thank you to Sirenscape, to Norse Foundry's Broken Frickin' D20 for memes.
Does that make carpenters unique? Like in
They're
the
rare.
Rare.
They're rare.
is
They're in the rare
stage of
category.
Uncommon.
You need a super ball to catch them.
I wanna throw out a
And all of you.
out.
For hanging out, watching our show, and admittedly helping us diagnose our technical issues. Hopefully,
We love you guys.
the audio should be dramatically improved. There's still room to do things, and I'll try and
You wanna
continue
take
working
this
on
back?
sorting stuff
yeah.
up. No, you're slowed forever.
Yeah, here you go.
I wanna thank all the carpenters who do watch this show. Just so you know,
Good night.
is hiring.
You're not
everybody.
carpenters in a stone
You're
city.
on a
Enjoy
different plane.
the rest
Get
of
it?
your
'Cause, like it's a
weekend.
planing.
Oh my god.